Halo, selamat datang di channel gue, live streaming gue. Selamat datang kembali. Kali ini kita akan nonton PRX versus ZETA Division, divisi Valorant. Menarik. Karena kemarin itu kemarin DFM deh ngikut nonton. Gila, DFM gigi juga tuh kemarin gue nonton. Sekarang si PRX lawan ZETA, kita langsung tonton aja lah.
What happened? What have you done?
I had some words.
Masih belum. Soalnya suaranya lagu copyright anjing. Oke, ZETA milih Ascent, PRX milih Lotus. Terus Bennett split ZETA, PRX veto bind, decidernya Sunset. Anjay, gelo. Sejak tahun ini kalau nggak salah coachnya ZETA tuh jadi ada bulenya. Lu tuh cuma orang Jepang doang gitu. Soalnya kan Korea sama Jepang itu kan mereka pride-nya cukup tinggi ya untuk masing-masing tim itu. Jadi kayak misalnya Genji nggak mau kalau ada orang asing, jadi maunya orang Korea semua. Dulu ZETA juga gitu, nggak mau ada orang asing, semuanya orang Jepang kayak gitu sih. Karena ya ada bagusnya juga di satu sisi, karena mereka negara-negara maju ya, jadi mereka bisa memilih bakat-bakat dari negaranya untuk lebih maju lagi gitu di pertandingan turnamen besar kayak gini gitu, terutama di Pasifik. Tapi memang akhirnya kesulitannya adalah mereka jadi ada sedikit kurang perkembangan sih. Karena jujur aja kalau misalnya pemainnya mix gitu, lebih ada kemungkinan untuk lebih jago gitu, bukan lebih jago, berkembangnya lebih pesat gitu. Kecuali misalnya Genji gitu ya, dia memang Korea semua, tapi kan mereka pemainnya itu memang sebenarnya dari dasar itu jago. Cuma di tim sebelumnya itu mereka itu salah apa namanya, salah posisi agentnya aja. Sama mereka itu menurut gua sebagai newbie gitu ya, komunikasinya itu lebih baik ketika chemistry-nya itu ketika di klub atau tim yang sekarang gitu. Kayak misal Genji, si Texture itu kan dulu kan di Global Esport ya, dia itu kan di situ nggak jadi duelis, karena duelisnya pasti kan orang India, karena kan tim India ya. Jadi mau nggak mau akhirnya skill kemampuan aslinya Texture nggak ada gitu. Ditambah lagi gue merasa kesulitan untuk komunikasi gitu kalau di tim internasional. Kalau lu timnya itu satu bahasa gitu, lebih memudahkan dan apa namanya, untuk ini sih, untuk apa namanya, melakukan chemistry yang baik gitu, untuk kayak penempatan dan komunikasi lebih lancar gitu, untuk memberikan info dan pengertian untuk maksud yang diinginkan oleh sesama timnya gitu. kok kalau kita lihat di sini semuanya memilih PRX, nggak ada satupun memilih ZETA. Wah, ini sih valid sih bro, menurut gua. Cuma memang PRX itu naik turunnya masih lumayan sih. Kayak kemarin itu 2 hari lalu mereka tanding itu, buset, lawan RRQ. Map kedua ya dibantai-bantai anjing. Berat. Kayak gitu sih paling. Sambil nunggu aja nih mereka ngomong. Soalnya gue sering dapat copyright anjir live gue. Kemungkinan besar karena mereka ada pas perkenalan player-playernya gitu kan. Pas masuk itu kan ada lagunya si siapa namanya itu ya, girl band siapa gitu yang undefeated. Nah itu akhirnya masuk jadi copyright. Ya kalau dari channel mereka sih nggak kena, karena kan mereka bukan mereka kan yang punya lagunya itu secara nggak langsung gitu, walaupun nyanyiin si XG ya kalau salah namanya girl bandnya. Sambil tunggu ngomong, kita dulu aja nih wawancara.
Welcome back to VCT Pacific Stage 2, and we have our very first champions qualified Pacific team. It is none other than PRX. Of course, it's
orang dari
PRX,
Singapura
but
tuh.
today
Gelo.
facing
Dari Singapura ke Korea.
ZETA division.
Really exciting stuff for PRX. 3 champions in a row, not missing.
Well, they're missing
the team
right now.
is missing, but they're not missing a lot of international events. Let's see if Jen can find them.
Hello, Alex. Where is everybody?
It's just me. The rest are champions somewhere.
They're in champions in Seoul.
Yeah, they're somewhere in about Seoul.
Okay, well, congrats and good luck today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Anjay, Silas kalau di Jepang gini kali ya, cowok ganteng, cogan gitu. Yang muncul itu tuh kan di Jepang tuh kayak ada apa namanya, kayak klub gitu yang cowok ganteng gitu.
You are on fire yesterday. Are you ready to go up against PRX today?
Yes, ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, some sugar for Sugar Rush.
Oh, thank you.
Sugar Rush.
Woo.
Hey yo! All right, that was a lot of sugar for a guy who has 0 sugar. But yes, welcome to Champions Seoul. PRX, you don't get to go home. You're staying here all throughout August. And yes, this is the 3rd time they've qualified for Champions. These guys love going to Champions.
Mereka tuh udah otomatis qualify sih, soalnya secara poin itu
Don't look at me like that.
mereka udah jauh lebih
It'll
gede sih.
happen. Although I don't know where the rest of PRX's team was just now. It's just Alex all by himself.
Oh nggak salah ya,
A
kita
little
coba
tired. He's
lihat
watching Eurozone night.
GG
Loves
ya.
football. I hope he was also
Valorant
viewing
GG.
ZETA division as well. Yeah, I mean this is really exciting. I don't think it's a surprise to see them back here. But,
No,
you know.
Not at all.
No, not even a little.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been
Jadi
so good
PRX
for so long.
the
The core of this
RX
roster is insane. You know, something
bisa ke
it's been
Champions ini.
a real treat swapping between the duelists and everything. What more can you say? This team's really damn good.
I mean, we might actually also be poised for a first.
Walaupun di
because the only
playoff
champions that
nanti ada
PRX ever
kemungkinan
missed
nih
out on was
kalian bisa
2021,
juara
and that was Team
1, 2,
Secret
3
representing the APAC
udah otomatis
region
masuk
way
ke
back then. We
Champions
could have the first time that both of
gitu.
those squads, the ones that used to just beat the crap out of each other
Yep.
in SCA, at Champions at the same time. It's certainly possible now.
Yeah. I think right now, with the 6 playoff teams that are going in, we're going to see a little bit of a mix-up, a little bit of a shake-up going into Champions this year. With Team Secret looking how they were looking just now. We saw them earlier playing against Gen G, defeating them in a very, very clean fashion. But yeah, PRX as well have also been on the up and up since Shanghai.
Yeah, no. This team is really
On the roster.
Nah udah mulai nih.
PRX uses that card where they're allowed to change their agent.
Yep.
You know, and
Anjing masih ada lagu ya. Tadi kena copyright anjing. Tapi sejak ada asistennya sih, si Bulb itu lumayan sih PRX, masih kayak lebih calm gitu. Walaupun masih barbar gitu ya. Walaupun masih barbar tapi masih agak better lah ya.
Now wrapped up earlier, and now we're on to PRX
Okay.
versus two teams that are just looking to show what they've got, right? Like the desk covered. There's no real change here, whether it's playoffs or champions. PRX now qualified minimum by points, but we'll see. ZETA Division looked pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, they were pretty good against Talon, especially on Ascent, and that's going to be the first map that we're playing also. So I am, to be honest, a little bit worried, right? That Ascent composition that PRX had just a few days ago wasn't like the most amazing thing, but we are changing things up a little bit right here.
Okay, so
Apa nih?
personally,
Ascent,
I'm
anjir.
actually on board with these
Anjing pakai
changes.
cloth lagi.
For those who missed it before, they did have the Silva still in there, not the Fade, and now we have the KO, so we finally do have some flashes to go with it. And this leans a bit heavier into creating more
ZETA tuh
50-50 fights,
jago sih,
fights for
Sugar
the
Zero
War,
sama
the
Last
Jet, and things like that. You
sama
can still
Depnya
do a little
itu.
bit of util chaining with the KO
Sisanya
as
tuh,
well on the entry. So we'll see as this pans out. Forsaken has played the Fade
untuk
several
standar
times here
ini
on
sih
Ascent specifically
basic
in
sih
the past.
menurut gue ya. Buat Pacific sih basic gitu. Mereka butuh pemain yang jago gitu kayak Dep, Sugar Zero sama Last gitu.
Trying to prove that there is still a lot of hope and potential. Looking forward to the future with this lineup. Meanwhile, PRX trying to continue to assert their dominance here in VCT Pacific. This is Ascent, the first map in this best of 3.
Let's go.
Most certainly,
PRX.
ZETA Division, they look pretty fired up on the stage, and at the same time, how exciting is it going to be? We're seeing like depth versus something. Again, this is a matchup that we don't get to witness all too often, but here it is. PRX versus ZETA. Of course, though, PRX starting things out on the attack. This is where they really get to test their composition. This is where they get to, throw some curveballs at ZETA and see how they react to it.
And it's just going to be an all-in on the A side for the time being.
Waduh, wajah
One
dingin.
lane completely surpassed with the Prowler. Again, that's where we start to see some of that Fade util providing a bit more assistance than their previous composition. Or, with the Silva, sometimes you would just have to invest a 400 credit drone. Now you can use one of your Prowlers. Still have another one for the entry. Gets the orb as well. And there are no signs of slowing down. ZETA's trying to get ahead of this, but the Paranoia is going to keep them at bay, and that should be a clean entry onto the site. ZETA just going to wait to regroup for the retake.
Yeah, Torpedo was blocked off as well. Now it gets shut down. So it's a full-on pistol, 5-on-5. Not the most fun of fights, but that said, some of the PRX players are banged up a little bit low.
Wow, gila Dep.
Two headshots back to
Gelo.
back. They're starting to find some legs in this run. They're going to push on through. Dep dives in. You're on relays over.
Flawless kah? Flawless kah?
PRX 2-on-5. One player stuck inside main, one stuck inside the door.
Wow, gila main freaknya lah.
But that's going to be it. I mean, they are still surrounding it.
Ay,
They are
bisa
still
dapat.
sticking on
3 lawan
that spike.
1.
And the defuse goes through. ZETA picks up the pistol.
Nice and clean retake, and I was afraid of something trying to get ahead of the flash drive,
Oh,
and he
kita
kind
tes ini.
of did, but Dev was just quicker on the trigger. Gets the double kill right as that door breaks, so ZETA understanding what they have to do. Meanwhile, PRX just understanding that that's the
Gila
one
sih,
thing
Dev.
they needed to block, not quite landing the kills that they would have desperately liked. Your ensure the flash drive a little bit late on that one, but still good for the trade as well.
Gelo Last.
Yeah, enough numbers. Ultimately, that's the thing. That would have been fun to see his POV on that, but still, I mean, it's going to be the Outlaw now. The buy-up from ZETA. PRX on full upgraded pistols.
Don't see that every day these days, especially with the Outlaw coming out. But trying to see if they can get just a bit ahead. Find a couple cheeky kills with the Sheriffs. See if it pays off. Jing looking to do a little bit of extra damage with the Frenzy. Doesn't have a pick-me-up though, just the metal. Now Fragment
Waduh, kurang jauh Yuran.
Yura just wants to stay ahead, just wants to make sure that he keeps distance. And Heaven is completely covered for last, but he gets taken out by the Ghost. The Outlaw now not landing either
Dari
shot.
kena.
ZETA, Yuran needs to hang on, but he's been taken out, the site completely given over. And now it's a 3v4 retake, never mind, take that back. A 1v2.
Forsaken has the Bulldog too. He just got the spike planted.
Gelo.
Never mind that. It's going to be something who trains a sheriff onto the top of Euron's forehead. Paper-Rexing. It's going to be the Thrifty. Who would have thought the upgraded pistols would do it all? I mean, they just ran right through the glass and found that instant shot onto where it's Laz. Of all people, he wasn't able to fight back whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, Laz was just trying to hold on to the connection onto Evan, but obviously it was a bit of a short range game. Not perfect for him if it goes into that wide swing, but either way, you have to wonder if PRX is going to be doing this against other teams in playoffs or champions as well, because I can't imagine it works every time, but it did this time, and it puts them well ahead on the economy. 5 rifles now to their name full util. Meanwhile, ZETA, this time looking to try to counter that Thrifty with one of their own. They do get ahead on the rotate, so just reading that it should be a fake, right? Put the smoke down on
gila,
it,
ZETA langsung tahu.
force him to rotate, and now we're going to stack on B and hope that PRX commits, which this team, they usually do.
Yeah. The question is, how is PRX going to approach this, right? Laz has a shorty, and if he plays the position right, he might just be able to eliminate one player once and for all. But something, dives right into market, clears it out fully, and here we go, back to the A site.
I mean, the Dest wanted crazy, we're getting crazy. The thing is
gila, dia mati.
logical rotation and something's just gonna find all the shots. Obviously at long range, total advantage for him. But what I love as I presume PRX will take control of that A site, is that they go for B. They instantly see that there is a setup here because they tag more than one person. They tag the Killjoy as well.
Gelo, flawless, cheer.
They've already started commit their util, so they just send something in, distract them. He goes all the way to mid because if it's an eco, you gotta be stacking. You can't be spread out. And once he clears mid, you say, okay, well, it's a rotate, right? No one's gonna be able to cut us off.
Yeah. Here's the thing, I will. It's just so wild and funny that something just dives into market. What if someone was inside that smoke and he just goes in for it?
The whole PRX ever cares about someone being in the smoke? He'll just die. I mean, listen, I'm not saying he gets the kill every time, but he'll gladly sacrifice himself to the cause of W Gaming.
It's PRX, man.
I mean, listen, it isn't ballsy, sure, but that is what makes PRX PRX. It's what makes some of their losses the most hurtful, but also it's what gets them ahead because they go for these plays that are high risk, high reward, because it absolutely secures a round if you're clear of danger.
And their opponents never expect it. Now on to the next round. Of course, ZETA has to full buy, but PRX has started to build up a bit of a bank. And ZETA's trying to be very cautious about this. Look, they're leaving an alarm bot to mark mid. Meanwhile, the rest of PRX starting to set up for a bit of a B-split push. We've got Hiroran just trying to jiggle for, well, not jiggling anymore. He's going in to receive that information. Gets the first pick onto something, which is a very, very good pickup.
Yeah, that's a confidence booster as well against something. And Jeff lining up, almost gets 2, not quite going to stabilize for the next. It's a quick pinch from Bane as well, but the Odin still alive and well. Only 10 HP, now decayed all the way down to 1. He needs to go for the pre-fire, but Jing's quick on it. He couldn't hear the audio because of the C's. Now a 2v2, ZETA Division at full health.
Respect di situ lagi.
This round. Going to wrap around, try to make sure that they can find another angle, but the door gets closed and now you're out of options.
Alright, door's quickly broken though, so still some angles available. Smoke's dissipated as well. PRX at the very least will be able to stick the spike down, and ZETA looking to push in together. They've got a flash, they've got several pieces of utility from the Omen. PRX has to be very careful.
Now it's going to be the Nightfall, nice and early as well, just to stall them. They've both been tagged on this side. It's a nice pop flash from Europe.
Wah, gelo.
One perfect timing, a double swing of beauty for ZETA Division, as they will be able to get this round and try to stabilize your economy.
Very respectful push. I mean, yes, you don't want to give the Nightfall too much respect. Yes, your sound and everything might have been robbed, but just pushing on through because you have that pop flash, something that maybe PRX didn't quite expect, with the jump as well, of all things, is what really threw them off. I mean, look at this, even going for the spray transfer.
Gelo, Euron menyala, jir.
Their individual targets, but ultimately it's also another thing that PRX going a little bit too wild. Laz had the Odin, and he was always stuck inside a boathouse. This is what we saw just yesterday when they were playing against Talon.
And now Forsaken will pick up his own Odin. He's always favored this weapon, even on the attacking side here on Ascent. With that fade, gives him a lot of map control. And this is where we started to see that PRX style of using the Odin for map control just for complete distractions, trying to mask their audio, things like that. We'll see if it continues this time around as he continues that suppression, allowing something to dig deep into mid. No backup though. Doesn't need it.
Not at all. Hidoran trying to stay around, trying to go in for the trade, but ultimately shut down right now. And the rest of the PRX continuing to borrow through in towards A short. They managed to find all of it. Euron's fragment, though, will be able to catch Jing. Now on to Depp. He's already arrived on the crime scene, but
Ya, Dep ngasih
BioFreak
senjata.
has different ideas, instantly knows where he has to mark.
He was at the crime scene just a bit too early. He became
lupa.
the end of the crime. Spike being planted afterwards as well. And PRX now leading 3-2 rather. You know, I do wonder, do you think the Clove with the picking up zoomies is closer to Ray's movement speed or Neon? Because here's the thing, it is very clear that they're trying to find another agent for Jing to get comfortable, and one of the things he's best at is the whole left-right movement, the micro adjustments while he's fighting. We saw this when he had the Neon, we see it sometimes when he has the Clove. I just wonder if he has a preference.
Guess we'll have to wait for an interview to ask him that, but for now, certainly either agent looks pretty darn good, and PRX looking to continue to aggress into the A site. They're just diving straight in. No room for ZETA to breathe whatsoever. Something pops up on the top generator, but he doesn't quite land it. Yuran and Sugar Zero have made these trades go through, but Jing alongside the ultimate, he's come back into the game, and all that's left is going to be Hero Ron. How does he play around this? He's only got a Sheriff, and he's been smoked off. You cannot peek this. No, sir. Spike gets planted now. He's going to have to figure a way out of this.
Jing, he's going to have another smoke. Huron doesn't really have many options. He'll slowly creep out. He wants to isolate 1v1s, but Mindfreak's not going to give it to him. By the time he drops down onto the box, he will start to get exposed. Sound, maybe he doesn't land the first shot, and Mindfreak cleans up. And boy, oh boy, it's nice to be back in 2022 where every team starts to play at PRX's own pace. I mean, this is, I'll just say it like it is as messy and crazy as it can get. And it's ZETA trying to counter PRX's style, right? It's them trying to make sure that they keep up with it. And they're doing their best, quite frankly. I mean, they're getting close. But PRX thrives in these scenarios.
It's
Udah belum ngekill nih gue liat-liat.
fun to watch, to say the least. Euron actually diving head first into that with a stinger. Something that we don't see too often every day. Now ZETA going in for their own version of the Tiles Crunch. Back up the top spots, out the top of Devi's head. And that's going to be Depp finding the shot into his cranium. The next on, though, is going to be PRX as they hang on back from B lobby. Smoke things off, trying to rotate through, but the spike has been dropped.
Yeah, the spike being dropped is a big one. Now, ZETA Division, their hold around the spike actually isn't that safe, so I would love to see them back out eventually. I love that. They're just going to say, okay, if they do pick it up, they pick it up. They're going to have to spend so much time anyway. We'll even smoke it off just to make sure that they'll have to use some extra util. But meanwhile, Forsaken's already ahead of it, so PRX reads that that's the correct move from ZETA. And now a bit of a back and forth on the chessboard as Mindfreak sets up. Tries to make an opening here for something to break through. Mindfreak's going to be there for cover. The shock dart gets full damage.
Metal being sent out as well, so this is a very good telling that PRX is about to head into the A site. Hidoran trying to return in kind, but unfortunately eats a bullet to the face from Jing.
That speed is so fast on the pick-me-up.
I know. He has those zoomies. And now he's looking to watch out some of these angles, trying to push on through, maybe mark his own smoke. He has the ultimate, so why not go in for this, right?
Oh, instantly uses it. And it's just gonna be him jumping. One kill, come on, it's still death that you're fighting against. Give the man some respect. Forsaken will be able to clean it up.
Bangsat, bangsat. Lucu banget lagi.
Like drop back down to generator or hell or something.
Nah, you gotta keep going. The thing is, quite frankly, that is how you should be playing the Clove Ultimate, right? I mean, if you're gonna pop it, you got listen, I'm not going to fault it. I'm sure it's not as stable.
Halo Bang Wahyu.
Sure.
Maaf ya gue gak lihat. Anjir lagi konsen anjir.
On defense, if you're able to push out pretty aggressively, take control of either A main or B main, at that point, the extra smokes, it could really help creating some better angles for you, especially on a map that is already favorable for the defensive side. And now we'll see Zeta Division after that timeout. They do have a bunch of ultimates, but not the weaponry to follow up.
Lu,
So they will be leaning
Papa U,
towards that A
nama
side,
Bang Blackshark?
just hoping that they made the right read.
Yeah, it's going to be Heroron with a Sheriff alone on the B side. He's got the ultimates, though.
Puki.
At the very least, they're trying to mark this win. Chances of winning out the side.
No, Puki.
Decided to commit to an A hit. Given the crossfires, they all set up. PRX just holding for a default hold for the time.
ZETA melawan ZETA.
Without any information.
By the way, kenapa Genji kalah? Lawan ini TS Team Secret. Comeback Jir tadi.
Okay, hey, let's go over to A. This is working out for Zeta Division so far, but they've actually stopped them with the utility with still a minute on the clock. So PRX could rotate if they wanted to. They can also push in after the util's been used, but PRX gets the read. They say, whoa, okay, that's like way too much utility coming in from main. We got to figure out a different way to enter into the site. They're going to find the weak spot. Uran's trying to get ahead of it, and Jinx good for the first kill. Def trying to line anything, but cannot find its target. Sure as Zero will be good for one, but it's just going to be the KO that gets revived.
Look at that. Now Heroron kind of on his own with a Sheriff, having to go for something, anything. I mean, this was just amazing reads from PRX. They just saw all that utility, even with their smokes off, trying to bait some of it out. They figured something was kind of sus about this, and you were absolutely right. They pushed on through from short, and they saw everything possible. Now, from the shorty, PRX on up 6 rounds.
All right, Zeta Division had that timeout before the previous round. You have to imagine that they talked about both possibilities. So now with the operator, now with the ultimates, this is where you need to slow things down. Jing just the chaos. Even when he used to play the Raze, this is how he would open up space, create control for PRX. Now trying to find that comfort zone on the Clove.
Starting to be a little bit more comfortable with it. I mean, he was kind of top fragging when they played this against RRQ. Just maybe not super successful, but that said, with the right agents this time, all that support coming in, he's able to trade out through and through. Something just dives right in, but the Hunter's Fury from Laz, straight into A main, 2 players down.
I mean, that lineup
Anjay,
is so good against A main. They popped the nanostones early, so they knew that people had to be stuck in main. It's a good call, but you've already given up heaven and something's trying to get ahead of it. Does Zeta predict it? Yes, they do. The drone comes out. But how many members are they suspecting?
Yah, Mind Freak mati, Jing.
For the spam, he actually gets Mind Freak in return, so that makes things even easier.
Uran looking a little bit more tactical today. So with the lockdown now, PRX pretty much pinned down in towards A main, or maybe even Wine. So the one-way smoke comes out. Jing tries to give his teammates a little bit more secure cover as they spam on through into the spike. Something manages to find the first, Forsaken onto the next. No way this happens, right? All right, Heroron's managed to stick the defuse all the way through. And that's going to be the round.
I was so scared that Forsaken was just going to full send the Nightfall right as he got defused. That would have been...
Kacau.
That's when you call a timeout, no matter what, if you're Alex.
And Alex just like starts spamming the desk.
Well, the desk just isn't there anymore. Goes to a tech pause.
3 round
we
lagi.
did ask him on the Korean desk about that time where he slammed his desk and then we had a tech pause because the coach PC had a problem. And he tells us that he did slam his desk, but then he was just leaning back to watch the next round and he accidentally hit a cable with his feet. So not completely correlated. But here we go, op shot. Bit of a whiff here from Dep as something goes right into the
Wow, gila Roron.
Headshots back to back. Forsaken now stuck. Last fires through the wall, no way to back out, and now the spike into Vi's hands, stranded in Cubby.
He's trying to find someone to shoot, but they're not really quite giving it to him. Mindfreak comes in to support, eliminates Dep, so Divine now having a bit of cover, he manages to back off. Mindfreak, though, still stuck around the side. He's trying to sneak on through, making them think that he might be around market, but nope. right up in front of him. Yura manages to shoot him point blank.
Nggak bisa anjir.
Too many targets. Divide. Can't find one out of the 4.
Ente dah.
Zeta starting to cash back up. 4-6.
Cing.
I mean, great positioning from Zeta Division. You can see it all happen. Again, the defensive setups have been something to behold, especially when they played this against Talon once more. Last, always inside of Boathouse. Even with the Nightfall, though, Heroron was able to hold things down on his own, watching that alleyway as everyone tried to push on through.
Gelo.
Now Heroron smiling as well, looking comfortable. I mean, this role swap, let's talk about that a little bit for Zeta Division. Came a bit late into the stage, but it has been looking so much better. They all just look so much more comfortable. Yes, it comes at the cost of Laz not really being free to roam about and anchor and lurk, but if it overall raises the average of your team, the comfort level, the comms, maybe it's worth it as something. Now Travis, only util dumped to make sure that the Jet cannot escape. And Zeta gladly will leave the site open as they've already weakened PRX on their attack.
Yeah, numbers now. Still, though, we've got the controllers, and Jing is still very much alive. They managed to take down the site, and the door being shut down. Forsaken slowly starting to set up for himself a bit of a lurk. He doesn't see anything quite yet, though, and look at that 0 point. Might have been able to retrieve all the information that they needed. So reinforcements now in for PRX. They're starting to mark out tree, but Zeta just reads this right as well. They go all the way through, down from heaven. Them with a shorty, he's able to get the first. Device snaps onto a first head. Jing in with the not dead yet, but he's still kind of trying to find these shots. Zeta just out in the open, in the cold. Last
Wah, gelo.
Forsaken, the duo lives and breathes down Zeta's neck.
Great micro movements there from Jing. I mean, even using the not dead yet, come right back alive. Team back up with Forsaken. Crosshair placement. Crisp
Gelo.
from Jing and Forsaken both. The power duo of PRX right here. I mean, just the spacing from these two are so good as well. Using the pick-me-up for the extra speed. Forsaken covering their back. They've got everything calculated. As they take the lead back, now 7-4. See how much more they can get in this last round. If they can make it a 4-round lead.
Would be amazing, but that said, Zeta Division. Now, one thing that I have been loving from Zeta is the way that they're being proactive on the defense. I mean, look at this, the way that they've pushed into B main. In previous rounds, the tiles crunch that they kind of innovated. Certainly throws PRX into a bit of a loop. They might not anticipate this, and the operator shot sounds off. Depp dives straight in, tries to look for the second late, but unfortunately does not quite land. Something will be able to pick up the spike, and he still wins away.
Yeah, that's still going to be 2 very crucial kills. It's the initiator's gone from PRX. So the execute's not going to have the full setup. You just have to rely on your peaks now. You can create advantageous angles, you can create 50-50s with the extra smokes, but that's about all you got if you're PRX. Paranoia used to push them back. That actually draws out the counter recon, so now they don't have to worry about that before the round ends. They can at least get the spike down, and then it'll come back off of cooldown.
You are trading utility, so now your only option is to kind of walk in or maybe use your smokes to sneak onto site. Sugar Zero is right here, waiting to mark. Euron with a 0 point again, manages to retrieve the information necessary. Fragment out, and it kind of does stall something very low. So is Mind Freak. And they have to find their shot. Sugar Zero repositions. They've dropped down. They're clearing out health. But where is Sugar Zero? Right around Generator. He plays around his smoke.
Wah.
Right around the Rosie. The headshot into something.
Okay.
5-7 for Zeta.
Switching side.
There are small things you can take away, especially if you're interested in Zeta Division's play and their future, right? Overall, compared to the rest of this year, their teamwork looks better. You touched upon it earlier just a bit as well. They're a bit more decisive, a bit more aggressive. But even things like the util there, it's not a pre-planned set play, but...
Tang-tang furu-furu. Apa tuh? Tang-tang furu-furu. Sambil nunggu ya kan. Berarti harusnya Rio Jaya nonton nih. Oh dia nggak nonton. Siapa nih berarti? Miti. Nggak live juga bocahnya. Itu siapa jir? Aduh, si itu bukan di YouTube. Nah, spesial review live nih. Malah iklan jing. Wih, 2 orang nonton nih. Lah, udah mulai anjing. Sini. Di goblok.
As well.
Logo bos.
Common setup that we've seen more and more often. As now, with that mid push out, it's just a clear execute onto the A side. Does PRX try to cut off the backup? As Dev is not going to be able to land. He hears the noise, so he's just going to back off.
Lah, diem dong.
Gets the trade, but Laz already taken down. It's a quick kill onto Mindfree. PRX trying to fill the gaps where they can. Something I believe is in the site. He's going to peek out, but Uran swings around, gets the kill off of the spike plant. He'll go for it again. Another to draw out the target, and ZETA keep 4 alive.
Is this the same Euron that we've been seeing in ZETA? I mean, he's actually very aware, and he's like marking all of these angles and getting all of his shots landed. PRX were trying to find that timing to deny the spike plant, trying to throw a wrench in ZETA's plans, but it wasn't quite happening because of every player, you know, watching everything. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that Uran sometimes was really actually the one trying to hold them together when things would go awry, but obviously a little rough around the edges, maybe a bit too ahead of things. But overall, trying to take the initiative, and now that the overall team's chilling, he's just fitting right in, right at the top of the scoreboard. Marshall comes out for something on the defense, though, on their eco, so going for a couple greedy buys today on Ascent. See if it pays off.
There.
So far, nothing quite yet. Forsaken trying to sneak in, but he doesn't spot anything whatsoever. No sounds inside of B main. This could be a bit of information for PRX. He hears the turret, though.
Yeah, well, you hear the turret looking for a lurk, right? So that should let you know that the main forces are over on A. He'll even find the kill.
Mati.
And that all but confirms it. PRX now forcing them to fight. ZETA will answer in kind, and Dev will answer in spades as he gets a shot. Great space for his teammates to enter onto the site. Still a little bit of damage taken, especially with Laz being at 21 HP. Dev already taken down. Forsaken looking for it, but the one-way's just too strong against him. He's not going to be able to peek around it, and he will drop.
Oh, it's Jing's one-way too.
Yeah, I know. Trying to mask them from the drop, but obviously not favoring him on those peaks.
But this is awesome, right? First of all, the decision to dive into the site. He doesn't just dive straight in, he dives over onto the right side where he has the angles to spot every single player out. And then you have the aim, the way he's able to swivel back and forth. And of course, Laz coming in to support and find those trades as well. This is that ZETA division that is firing on all cylinders for sure.
Anjir, di wallbang.
That's one of the greatest spams I've ever seen. And as soon as they take out the Odin, they know they can get in. It's a free site because there's no Sentinel. The Odin's the only thing that's going to hold it back for a long time. I mean, sure, if there's a paranoia, but outside of that, there's no actual damage to be done against you if you're going in for the execute. Decisive ZETA division.
Incredible.
It's Paper Thin's favorite ZETA division. It's a decisive ZETA division.
As long as he keeps predicting against them, then yes.
There's just too many curses flying around Pacific.
Meanwhile, it is a 3-on-5 retake that PRX is considering. The economy doesn't look too great, but yeah, holding out for exits instead.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to get it. Oh, okay, they get 2. I mean, damage done is damage done. And Mind Freak will clean house.
But no defuse. That's it.
Yeah, lo rata anjing. Anjing gua bersadar, goblok.
A lot of good kills and robs those guns away from ZETA division. They will be able to buy back though.
Yeah, I mean, most importantly, I guess the Odin not being carried away by Zeta Division. Not sure if they would have chosen to use it or not. But putting the smokes, I mean, listen, you have the opportunity to do damage, you might as well. You're still able to save 2 out of the 3 guns that you had starting from the post-plant situation. So you will just stick with those 2. And now, if you're able to start to stop Zeta's pushes a bit, Econ is even down. That's a fast push out for sure. What?
Was he blinded?
A half blinded, but something
Ya,
recovers
mereka udah
quickly.
nggak ada ini, Jir. Udah nggak ada
Amazing reflexes.
controller ya.
Oh, Sugar Zero. That's a wake-up call.
Kenapa dia maju, Jing?
And now, no smokes for Zeta Division on the attack.
Oh my god, and now just watching the angles, Forsaken, ever so precise. Laz will be able to fight back though with the Prowler.
Ya,
Literally
kosong
falls to
B-nya.
hell. Now with that, Zeta gets to walk into the B site. Everyone's trying to rotate on over. Something does not spot anything, but if he just walks out a little bit further out front, might be able to spot them inside of tiles. Hunter's Fury instantly sent
langsung
through,
dipakai.
doesn't spot anything whatsoever, so he knows they're not quite around defender spawn. Not yet.
Yeah, with the door broken, now it's a bit of a mystery. So Laz wanted information, but he doesn't quite get anything. The drone already used as well, so you've already done all the stalling you possibly can. Now you just have to be able to go for the kills. And Debbie's got
Jing.
looking into the dimension for the smokes. And Deb will now be the nuisance in B main. PRX, they need to move while the smoke is still up, but Uran is the first line of defense. Uran goes down, but there are the pinks. Laz holds them back, and Deb will get
Ya,
the
lo
spin
rata,
through the
Jing,
wall.
Jing.
Whoa.
He tracks the pinks. He just tracks him.
Kalah kah
Need to
PRX?
see that slow-mo, because yes, the timing was awesome, but at the same time it was a bit of a collateral, kind of. I'm not too sure.
Jing,
Yeah,
kita
the
tuh.
angle. He's able to just get a quick spray down.
That was awesome. I mean, PRX, you know, trying to fight them through and through with the guns, but at the very same time, once the retake starts to happen, it's these angles. I mean, they were doing this against RRQ, so trying to right the ship, trying to figure out the optimal way to play this composition ahead for playoffs. I mean, that's really the ultimate goal right here. Still needing to make it through and, you know, get the best possible result. Meanwhile, Zeta Division definitely improving on all accords. Right now, just holding out for, you know, watching some of these angles after the timeout.
They'll play it carefully. The smoke creating some question marks for Dev, so he wants to be cautious.
Why would you smoke? Okay.
Just trying to hold them off. Saw the smoke coming in from the attack. Trying to delay them just a bit further. That will allow PRX to take a bit more control over on main. Now we have to remember, again, no Sentinel here for PRX. So whatever space they can get with their bodies, that's the space they get. Nothing more, nothing less. That's why we see both the Jet and the Clove peeking out a bit further into main to try to get that early information. Now the drone gonna have to force Jing's hand out, but Jing is hidden there. Be mind-free zone. Door closed. But here comes the ping. Now they know that it's 2 members on the site. The paranoia. Can they chase through it? No, they realize timer's run out. So there's the pop flash way up high. But Jing hides right behind it. He still gets taken down by Deb. Uran being the extra firepower as Mind-Free trying to hold on. Eventually gets traded down. And it's now a 3v1 in favor of Zeta as they go for the spike plant.
Poor guy did what he could, but meanwhile, Zeta Division, the execution is so pretty much flawless. It's all down to something. He might have snuck on through, but it's still so many targets. Is it going to be a target-rich environment, or is it going to be a firing squad is the question as he tries to mark out just the edges of the generator. As soon as he drops down, though, you can expect so many of them. Try to watch out for him. Initial peek out, and at the same time, the wallbang from right underneath.
Well, ZETA, love to see it continue to be decisive.
Gila.
Rushing things, especially now that they're in attack. They can play to their own tempo. They don't have to be just dragged around by PRX's own change of pace. Wow, good opening kill from Depp as well, but you're just going wide into the site to cover and create a crossfire. You love to see it. I mean, ZETA Division is playing like a very well-drilled team.
That's exactly it. I mean,
Segala Zero nggak menyala nih anjir gue liat.
Was so good. And now here comes the paranoia. ZETA tries to push on through into the B site. They're being blocked off by some smoke still, but Deb's still managing to stay alive. The shots are good. The pop flash now from Euron. And Forsaken and Jing unfortunately can't do anything about this. Mind Freak from the shadows into sight, but he's completely surrounded. Paranoia sent out as well, but right behind him is going to be Euron. It's all down to Divide. Trying to find something, anything, spots out the turret, knows that there are a couple of players inside the boathouse at least, but as soon as he swings out, okay, nice little collat, but Sugar Zero still able to respond in kind. ZETA now on to 11.
That was risky though. Can't make mistakes like that against the likes of PRX. Bit of a mistaken double up rather than a high-low setup from ZETA Division. But like you mentioned, just too many targets, so Divine will get taken down eventually. And I see this every time PRX plays a PRX style composition, so to speak, is sometimes they get caught up in their own pace. They get caught up in their own sauce a little bit. See if they can reel it back. I understand, we've pointed it out that there's no Sentinel. Sure, you have to do something to push out and get space. You can't overdo it. Don't want to see the small mistakes that we're not used to seeing from PRX, right? We saw something kind of bumping into the wall there on the tailwind, not finding the right angle, not finding the right timing. Those things start to add up and cost you.
Yeah, it certainly is starting to mount up to a big ZETA lead. PRX trying to be very, very cautious this time around, not pushing out too much, using the Prowler to clear out B main, but it doesn't spot anything. In fact, it's going to be
Anjay. Yah, elah.
who hears that piece of utility being sent out. Something? Now here's a bit of a drop. The rest of the team pushing out of A main.
How many people does he think it is? The Prowler once again not tagging anything. So much misinformation from the Prowlers. And something he's ready for one, but he knows that there was a drop earlier. He finds another, and Mind Freaks there for the quick trade all the way out of A main. And this is the type of control PRX has been looking for. All this information on B over by mid, and they push out from the other side to narrow it down. But Laz gets 2 headshots back to back. Gives ZETA Division some breathing room.
And now he sets up inside of Boathouse. PRX trying to bang them up as they head on through. Fragment just to keep him inside off the other angle. Isolates out Sugar Zero, but Last still sharp on it. Nails the first, but as soon as the double P comes out, PRX, Defy will be able to secure 1 round for PRX. The first round that they picked up in the second half.
Yeah, into the first half of 7-5, and now barely catching up to 8 against ZETA's 11.
All they needed was to off the brakes.
Slow things down. You know, he creep out from the other side, took some initial space on B main. And this is a composition where they have to take the initiative. That much is true, even on the defensive side. But it doesn't always have to be an all-in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Still a full 100 seconds that you get to work with.
The difference this time was the way they slowly, gathered information. Prowler doesn't see anything around B. You have a B squad slowly clearing out A main. Maybe the same thing this time, but ZETA holding things back as well.
They do successfully clear the turret right away, so that's going to slow down ZETA's information just a bit. The Prowler, it's taken out before it finds too much value. And once again, PRX disrupting some of that Sentinel setup over by B. Now what they don't know is that the alarm bot was set up right after, so it's a bit of a passive re-clear from ZETA Division, as Huron will still be able to hold on to some semblance of control on that side of the map. Still a minute on the clock. ZETA looking to work A, And if they do not find too much opposition, I imagine Hero Run will start to fish for more information just to know if they want to commit to the site execute or not.
Alas.
Didn't quite see anything.
Oke,
though,
dapat
but
satu paling nggak.
huge contact. Mind Freak unfortunately loses his life, so now not a lot of stalling available for PRX. Something just tries to spray through, doesn't quite find anything. Depth's already on the site. Nightfall just to set up for that retake. Jing continues to push out front from the top of heaven now. 2 players gone, and all that's left is going to be Hiroran and Laz. Upside of A main, outside of tree. A couple of shots going through, but that's ultimately all he can find. It's down to Laz in a one-on.
Wah.
Make that a possible one-on-one. Jing uses the ultimates. Everyone's back. And Laz tries to find more shots, but it's way too much for him to handle. Forsaken in with the Phantom. It's going to be PRX with a second round win now.
I mean, a lot invested, right? You have the null command, you have the Nightfall, you have the not dead yet. Everything thrown to secure that round, but secure it they do. And a bit of that half zombie composition coming out here with the KO and the Clove. I mean, here it's the Nightfall plus the metal, so there's just no chance for Dev's health to get back up. With that decay, it's an easy kill for Jing.
Gelo, mantep nih.
But at the same time, it's just getting the read for that A push. ZETA trying to hold things back for a bit. So now, maybe trying to switch things up. They've got some ideas. They've shown some ideas from before. And certainly
Again, nothing to lose for PRX, so sure, you might not be happy about every single play, but there is no reason to get upset just yet.
keeping that mental game strong.
Yeah, just gonna have, okay, they're gonna buy up to 2 rifles. Step looking to maybe at least get some extra points towards that Blade Storm. You can try to match that firepower in. And there's gonna be some focus on mid from ZETA to make sure they can cut off a little bit of that and the timings.
At the very least, a couple players spotted out by something now at the top of A main. More interestingly enough, though, is Step being able to sneak all the way under. Just around A short.
Something's out. Oh, Dev gets spotted. He's gonna actually just commit. He's gonna dash in. They're trying to make space for the main squad in A. They're trying to make it a full cell that it's a pinch on to B. And PRX is so far biting it just because they need to clear for information, but Depp is going even deeper. He wants to make an opening as Euron's good for one as well. Depp should get the wraparound. I think they've completely lost track of him, but something's doing the same. Which jet's gonna get there faster? The paranoia out, but something gets Sugar Zero. That should be the cue for Depp, and he's able to do it. He opens up the sight, and what a twist and turn here on this round.
Take hold.
Just both jets going behind enemy lines.
The angles opened up a lot bigger.
Wah.
No, now Depp going even further to eliminate Forsaken. It's all down to something now. He doesn't have any mobility. Just the blades. Swings out. Not quite the headshot onto Depp. Triple kill for the guy with a big flank all by himself. Down to match point.
22 and 17 for Depp. And Huron's still good for one here as well in a 1v2 pop out. Just a sheriff in his hands. I mean, a very, very curious round, but well played by ZETA Division.
Gila sih, Dep.
No, PRX, they snuck something in all the way, but not enough damage done. As we are looking at ultimates online. Even the null command only 1 point away for ZETA. Can they close it out? Swift map choice of Ascend. They find Mind Freak and Depp's clean with it. Instant response from Divide, but the crossfire, the pop flash, it's there. There's the Hunter's Fury. Divide can't get out of it. Something. He will just selfishly fly away.
That's still going to be 2 teammates down. ZETA Division. Just a couple of ultimates spent, and they still have so much potential to continue pulverizing through into the site. Lockdown, deployed. Something going on the journey. The same journey from before.
I mean, it's the best option they got. The lockdown's been used too. Zeta Division have the alarm bot, but it's not going to spot him from too far away. Forsaken gets spotted. He's trying to come back in, but the alarm bot finally notifying Zeta Division of the flank. Jay trying to hold them off, doing some damage, but not much. Just scratches on 2 members of Zeta. It's a 4v3, and so Zeta Division will go for the plant. Still evened up at 3v3 during it. Now back to 4. On that firepower, Hero Rod gets the spray down out the door.
Kalah pastilah.
It's going to be
Nggak bisa itu.
Zero taking down Forsaken.
Ente dah.
Zeta Division lead this series 1-0.
Diomelin tadi.
Started things off with PRX showing uber aggression in the first half with such an interesting composition. But once we headed over onto the second half, Zeta came back from a 7-5. They had everything possible, and they were showing that much more discipline, that much more decision-making in how they wanted to take down PRX. It's just such incredible stuff that they're showing this time around.
Kan berarti harusnya ya, ini kalau yang kalah bawah, yang kalah ke bawah, atau enggak? Apa langsung selesai ini kalau yang kalah? 12 Juli itu berarti masih lama. Sini tim secret. Nggak sih, harusnya berarti kalau kalah ya udah selesai, mereka harus ya, atau enggak? Kita masuk sini. Oh enggak ding, ini menang sini dan mereka tanding yang menang sini. Oh enggak ding, bener. Ini kalau kalah sini ya udah kelar gitu. Ya makanya namanya knockout round kan. Jadi kalau apa namanya, kalah antara ini ya udah selesai, mereka nggak bisa lanjut ke apa namanya di playoff ini. Jadi kalau ada yang oke, misalnya RRQ menang, Rki menang misalnya set tanding lagi super final, kok kalah ke lower ya benar sih ini misalnya. Wah berat juga jing, ini kalau kalah janji kelar udah. Tapi dia pasti masuk ke ini berarti ya, champion ya. Coba kita lihat event. Wih, udah klik ini event, nggak gerak ting. Paling terapi gue nggak ini, galau. Oh, ini komplit. PRX tuh pasti masuk. EDG. Oh anjir, tren baru pernikahan di Jepang. Ngobrol-ngobrol ya. Ini nih. We form relationship in Japan, famous among the youth, called the friendship marriage. Where staying together doesn't necessarily involve mutual love feelings or physical relationship. Bedanya apa jir? Friendship marriage berdasarkan data dari agensi Colorus. Sekitar 500 orang di Jepang sudah melakukan pernikahan ini. Rumah tanggap friendship bersama pentingan dan nilai. Ada teman sekamarnya punya nilai yang sama. Wah, sebenarnya bisa ngabiskan waktu berapa jam hingga kesepakatan selagi mereka makan bersama, ngatur keuangan, bahkan terus cuci baju. More than friends, less than lovers. Apa sih yang ngebedain pernikahan ini sama pernikahan awam? Yang bikin beda pernikahan ini adalah pesan tersebut menikah secara legal, tapi mereka memilih membatasi diri dari kegiatan seksual intercourse atau hubungan romantis. Mereka juga gunain cara gunain cara artifisial supaya bisa memiliki anak. Nggak hanya itu, hubungan ini juga mengizinkan pasangan buat poligami ataupun punya pasangan lain, tapi sesuai kesepakatan bersama. Siapa juga tertarik sama skema hubungan ini rata-rata berumur 32,5 tahun dan punya penghasilan lebih dari standar nasional. Kayaknya itu sekitar 85% dari mereka punya gelar sarjana. Tren ini menarik individu aseksual yang nggak merasakan gairah seksual ataupun jatuh cinta, tapi pengen punya koneksi, dan individu homoseksual. 1 year. Angka pernikahan di Jepang turun hingga 6%. Anjir, pernikahannya turun 474.000. Wah. Dengan nilai yang sama dengan mereka meski dengan cara yang berbeda ketimbang hubungan romantis pada umumnya. Nggak ngerti gue.
Definitely has gamer posture. Should probably do some stretches. Just like always keeling over its keyboard.
We've seen a lot of interesting postures. But that said, I mean, yeah, certainly would be a nice send-off, but it's also, you know, ZETA playing this composition, which did not have the best performance against Talon, you know, just yesterday. They are doing this 2 days in a row, so definitely maybe, you know, not having a lot of time to workshop things. Meanwhile, PRX trying to workshop some things themselves, or needing to workshop some things. Last time they played this, Jing was used more like a human recon.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we'll be very honest. The Neon movement was not impressive from him. His aim, absolutely. You know, the way he jiggles, the way he duels, it's great as ever, but that's just going to be true no matter what agent he plays. It almost felt like he could have played anything else, and it would still be the same result when they were playing against RRQ, especially when he was going up against Monyet's Neon. So we'll see if that's improved. Meanwhile, it's just going to be Keychron on his lonesome, still taking on, returning to that Sentinel role. He's going to back up. He doesn't have a really good way to hold on to the site, so they will back up fully. Main force from ZETA, just making sure that there are no lurks, no flanks.
Belum gue gedein.
As they now set up for a 5v5 retake.
Yeah, he would rather not take that risk of going into, you know, 4v5 for his team. So now going in with that full force retake, all the utilities being sent into the site. Paranoia doesn't quite fully connect though, but Jing, unfortunately with his speak up, doesn't quite fight all too much either. The shots fired back from Something and Divide to each of their own, and that's going to be down to the last one, last push stop on shot for Something to pick up that pistol for PRX.
Clean 1-0 start for PRX. I mean, ZETA didn't really have much of a choice. They had to give up the site as there wasn't enough Killjoy utility nor members to hold on to it. And at that point, I love the early smoke as well. Coming out from PRX right here just to make sure that they can spread out, that they're not getting picked off from range. They can use this elbow here on the back end of C site to their advantage. It's always a bit of a choke point to get through on the retake.
And ultimately, I think that's what that was, that choke point.
Yeah, it's just very, very decisive setups here for PRX. As we are looking at a 4-man buy, 3 rifles and a Spectre. Spectre in the hands of the Neon. Pop flash and really pumping up the tempo.
Okay, straight through door into A. ZETA nowhere to be found, being very, very cautious. So PRX fully gains control now, spots out the hit. Something looking for more shots. As almost every single, pretty much every single player is coming from heaven right now. That's
Wah gila, roto jir.
for the Blade Storm. PRX makes it a quick round.
That's a fast one. I mean, ZETA, they chose the site, it wasn't the right one. They tried to get back in time to flip the site, but even that, it's a little bit too late. Something's already ready and prepared. Always so quick on the trigger. I mean, some of the best reaction times we have here in Pacific.
Those are pretty much taps, especially the one that he caught on the crossing on the top of the rope. That was just a tiny sliver of a head.
Yeah, he's fast with it. 6-0-1. Just 2 points away from the Blade Storm. Should be getting it for the next round.
Okay, a fake fast lane into door and straight rush into C. Keychron has no choice but to respect it. This is glimpses of that pistol round again, just that instead of being positioned around defender spawn, he's up towards waterfall.
Yeah, now the main force is once again fanning out. PRX, if they can win this one, the snowball begins. PRX is going to go on with the one-way,
Wah.
trying to create that 1v1, but Huron's quick on that peak. Swings out for the kill. This gives an opening. Jing will stabilize, and he's still holding on to elbow. Once again, that choke point. It's a high-up haunt that slows down ZETA Division's retake. The smoke's still up, allows Forsaken to dance back and forth, and that's just a vibe.
Gila, rusuh banget anjir.
And Jing hops on forward for the last one. Nightfall now online for the fade on PRX.
I gotta see the Vice POV on those kills. I gotta see it. Hero starts things out right. Heard those footsteps, took the initiative to take that fight against something. But like you mentioned before, it's the same setup. It's those decisive smokes from Mind Freak that turns the site into a choke point. And off of that, even with the haunt being sent up,
Mukanya.
We got away from him a little bit. You still got
Yoi.
covering for you. 5 shares
Ini gue
for
beli ini
ZETA.
official.
Not much they can do on this
Kan
one.
bikin
They'll try to
sendiri.
build the site. They're trying to hold on to it this time around, but it's just
Wah.
Huron does land the shot. Device still follows through. It's a full commitment from PRX, and it's just too fast. I mean, ZETA, they just cannot wake up in time.
Yoi.
They have no idea what's hitting them from all sides of this site, as it's another spike planted on the C side and a round win.
straight rushing. I mean, it starts off though with Jing. Moving not the perfect ones and not, maybe able to find a kill or anything like that. But he was able to still kind of air strafe into that little pocket where he's able to survive just for an extra second and bait out, a little peek from some of the ZETA players. And that's going to be PRX now with a 4-0 perfect start. The ZETA Division is struggling to find some footing into this first half. PRX sitting on 2 ultimates.
And now you can see the Nanoswarm, the Alarm Bot all bunched up together as there aren't clear great ways for PRX to take that out. Tap, gonna win that. They recognize that it was just alert. So more than ever, full focus on the C site, as it is gonna be up to Sugar Zero to hold on to Rubble with the one-ways. He needs to be ready for a potential push out. The Haunt would push him away, same with the Prowlers.
Good quick rotations, yeah, from ZETA. The Prowlers being sent out, and at the same time just kind of hovering around Baby Door if they needed to break it and support Sugar Zero on the A site. Meanwhile, though, Forsaken, interestingly enough, just sending some 0 points, creating a bit of presence around the C site. But
Wah,
inside
mati
of that poison
Forsaken.
cloud, Huron with the spams, he will be able to catch him.
Sugar Zero, he's just gonna back out of it. Door's not open though, he doesn't really have an exit. He thought he might have had a connection, but a complete miscalculation there on his positioning. He's gonna leave the site open. Nightfall used.
Yo.
Still
Apa
over
gitu
ZETA
deh,
as
nge-lag.
Tep is quick on
30
the flank.
seconds left.
Already covers Rubble. He's able to let his team know that they can start to approach from stairs to create this crossfire. We can see on the minimap all members of PRX now near the site, in tree and on drop.
PRX trying to mark her way around it. The timing for Depp to push up front, though, will be crucial. Paranoia set through now. Jing with the overdrive. Laser beams down Huron and slides in towards tree. All 3 stacked up inside this one spot. The paint shells might be huge as Jing continues to slide back out. Catches onto Depp. Now the hunt catches onto Laz. No shots found, but Mindfreak makes it a trade. And now it's all going.
Wah.
Device swings out and decisively cuts him down.
Yeah, Devi just being away from that
Emot ya,
angle as well. Be a bit of trickery against Laz. ZETA Division still not finding that ray of sunshine here on Lotus. Hidden away. No rounds on the board. Jing, I mean, the overdrives have always looked good. All right, then you just focus on fire. and Comfort Agents on that Killjoy and Viper, respectively. Let's see if they can figure it out mid-round, mid-game. So they're now looking at a 0-5 score line, trying to get one on the board. Depp is one away from the showstopper, has a Hero Vandal in hand.
What this timeout will signal to them. Spotted out by the Hot now at the very least.
Wah.
Gets the shot, but instantly traded off by something.
Yeah, no fast exit there, especially with the 0 point, and that's just going to be a dive right onto the site from something. He's just trying to create some time and space, and that does give it for Mindfreak. Gets the correct angle, something fishing for it, lands the shot, and Device there to cover drop. And it's just surgical for PRX. Here run all on his lonesome. He can get his lock,
Whoa.
and he's guaranteed to get it now.
Wah, Doron. Apakah?
Picks up the Vandal now. Something ready in position. Divine watching the angle.
Whoa, Doron.
He's been wall banked as well. Hero Round knows where he is. Something sensing the pressure.
Elo.
That's gonna be one kill to secure the first round win for ZETA Division.
Sebegitu
This
anjir.
is the type of stuff we've been wanting to see from Huron. He completely uses PRX's tendencies against him, makes him think that he's definitely going to hold the half to try to get
Tuh,
ahead of
kayaknya
PRX.
yang terjadi sama
forward,
Ararki kemarin.
Trying to run past that turret.
Great little heads up duel against Devi as well, and then just a cherry on top.
I mean, that's a big one. It's a big confidence booster for Huron. You love to see it. Now at the top of the scoreboard, 6 and 5. Lockdown online. First round on the board. The PRX, once again, it doesn't stop.
Gotta watch out for those ultimates on the side of ZETA Division, though. PRX setting up for that burst into the C side.
Elo anjir.
The double kill is good. Lockdown no longer available. He even goes all the way up around just to stack up alongside Mindfreak. All right, not for too long now, though. ZETA Division reconsidering this fight, considering that it's a 3v5, probably just saving.
Yeah, I mean, again, the econ's not great, so you'll have to cut your losses here if you're ZETA. But Jing looking more and more comfortable here on the Neon, even going on some scouting missions right there on the site. Now, they will begin the hunt, it seems. This Jing is just practicing his movement at this point.
I mean, he mastered Ray's movement. Why not Neon, right?
I mean, I believe he can. I think it's just, you know, it just wasn't quite there just yet, but it's getting up there.
What if we have like a Jing versus Boostio Neon moment?
Waduh.
Oh, they're just gonna find them all now.
Well,
Nice.
we'll find it. They've been routed completely. We'll see Jing trying to put his name. He'll first have to put his name up on the top of the Neons in Pacific before he's able to challenge the likes of Jaya or whoever else. But overall, I mean, much more confident. And I mean, at that point, it's just a hunt down. So, all ults online for ZETA, but the weaponry not there to support it. Unfortunate timing, but they'll still have to make do with whatever they got. And you can tell again, for instance, one thing we're noticing is ZETA doesn't have a lot of good setups to fight for Rubble. I mean, there's several ways you can do it. We've seen the snake fight from B to support it as well, to try to make it look like you have heavier investment on A. There's all sorts of versions that have been out there. But apparently not enough time yet with this composition for ZETA to perfect it. But this time, wrap around, not quite there. Laz has been spotted. He wants to pick up the weapon. He does. Vandal recovered. PRX, they'll take this opportunity to expand even more control. They don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to be stuck. Which something currently finds himself in that situation. Uren realizing it's a push back out.
Back into the A side. Something just marks the angle, gets the first shot now. Onto Zero. The trail's revealing everything. The right clicks will be able to get him down. And all that's going to be left is Sugar Zero. Straight up from behind. He's already been spotted.
Yeah, he's just going to have to try to stay alive at this point. I mean, you do have the creds, but meanwhile, something is already on the hunt.
Very long hunt.
We'll see. I don't think he's going to get past this one, though. Forsaken picks that up. Already had the no command, but he'll just add a score to the board.
Now it's going to be PRX starting to build up towards these ultimates. ZETA very much looking to make use of their own in this round now, being able to buy up. But ultimately also just PRX being aware to check their backs sometimes.
See if they can continue to keep up this tempo. I mean, doesn't matter if you don't have a sentinel, if you're already just way past the map and you're already wrapping all the way around, lapping the opponents.
Especially not when Device 11 kills and 1 death.
He's been clean. And once again, it's a push out from C. They won't find anybody, but at least they'll have clear confirmation that it is an A site hit.
So most of them will just go in to clear out the A site. Mindfreak must have heard maybe something, maybe the snake bite towards the back of Rubble. ZETA sending a couple of squads, but something continuing to push up front to cut off the rotations. That's Huron down. Down to the main core of ZETA division.
I mean, what a drag across from something to adjust on that spray. Gets the second kill. Depp, he's good for 1, but it's too many members to buy another one to his name. As well. And PRX is just barreling through. Oh, I had no idea that that skin had constellations pop up in the sky as well.
Why not? I mean,
I've outed myself for not buying the new skin. Oh no. Riot's gonna be bad.
why did you
Nice.
not buy it? We still very much that same similar pace.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time they also, once again, brought out the no sentinel. That time with the breach and still the raise, of course. But overall, the concept stays similar. So we do see PRX once again with all rifles, all full armors. And ZETA just have to scrape together whatever they can have. Those ults not really finding the right moment. Again, it's another push out from C-Bound. You know, thinking surely PRX doesn't go A again, and this time we'll catch him with the trap. And PRX just says, well, thank you very much. It's another dive in.
Site's clear. Nobody's home.
Yeah, I mean, they use whatever utility can just to be sure, but it is just simple as PRX Forsaken. Gonna get almost spammed through the wall there on the door. He's gonna back out.
Oh, what is something? Ooh.
Just get that early pick over on stairs, perhaps even wrapping around heaven if they hear the drop. Forsaken now tasked alongside Jing to watch Baby Door. 2 tagged still on Baby Door. There's the fragment to cut 1 off. He's going to try to peek in for 1. He's good for it. And Laz,
Yeah.
we'll find him with a flash drive in his hand. Huron actually already on the site, but something thankfully equalizes it. Something he's ahead.
Yeah.
Time.
Ente dah.
For sure. But those
Menang sih, coba.
scores on the board.
Very true.
1 to 9.
Still pretty impressive. The sheriff shots. PRX, I mean, being very, very aware as to how they want to, control as much as possible. Yes, it is an eco, but just trying to prevent ZETA from getting as much as possible. They already have their ultimate, so why not? Just going for the fights. Now this is going to be the round. Depp on a stinger.
Yeah, he's got the showstopper, so they just want to make it a trap play, a full send. Depp gonna be fishing for information. He should have that showstopper ready. Go, he gets picked off!
Anjir.
Holy!
Dep modar anjir.
What is that?
I want to see something play whack-a-mole.
Yeah, that's just inhuman reactions. Just a snap and a drag back down, and Jake now slides right under Heron's nose. ZETA Division's just falling apart. Oh my god. Completely dismantled. I mean, mental boomed for sure. This is where you use that phrase.
Well, at least Sugar Zero able to find one frag in the round, now going into clear, but shoulders already being spotted
Wah,
next to the angles
kacau,
being
kacau.
Forsaken. Knowing how to mark and watch for it. Extra support from teammates as well. This is now 10-1. Last round of the first half. We're still sitting on those ultimates. ZETA has not found the right opportunity to use them yet. They were trying to set up for it. Look at this. He wanted to use the boom pop.
Mantap. Mantap.
I mean, what is that? Gets it on the second bullet as well on the spray. I mean,
That is something.
That's just what he does. 15 and 6 right now on the board. And like you said, 5-6 rounds in a row with all the ultimates online. ZETA hasn't found a use for him. It all falls apart too fast. A result of trying to find the perfect opportunity perhaps to use him, but also not being able to keep up and pacing with PRX.
I mean, you just don't expect them to be able to land shots like that, but now Nightfall sent through. You've got the showstopper, and it sends PRX all the way back. The Prowler goes in for a bit of a chase, but PRX are already rotating over onto the C site. Heron's right around the corner. Might be able to use that lockdown, given them timing, the right timing.
It's going to be a double blast pack to try to provide support as well over by Waterfall from the shadows here. 50 seconds still on the clock, which means PRX can still rotate, and they do. Fragment over into Waterfall. B held on to, and Jing still winning fights about. He'll even slide in for another one. That accuracy coming in handy. The buffs working for Jing, as now they will just completely corral ZETA Division.
Yeah, hello.
11 in the first half, ending with a flawless.
All those ultimates, maybe except for Euron's Viper's Pit, was used, and it was still a flawless round for PRX.
I mean, chaos. I mean, ultimates used with too much time on the clock. PRX just completely
Yeah,
kept it away from it.
gila.
The sensibility to really, you know, find the awareness to make those decisions.
Well, ZETA. I mean, this is one of those moments where if you're a ZETA fan, you want to see them at least wake back up. Because here's the thing, is that you're a team that has nothing to lose right now. I mean, both teams technically, but ZETA, you have nothing to lose. This is you just proving what you can do. If you are getting mental boomed in a game like this, does not bode well. You would love to see ZETA bounce back at least a couple rounds before going to a third map.
Definitely thinking about it, to say the least. We're on to the side swap where ZETA will be attacking, but you never quite know what PRX might do. Certainly on this map now, the improvements, the performances being made, certainly different from the PRX that we saw against RRQ just a couple days ago.
Gila.
I mean, especially with you being the only Neon, you can really control that pacing.
True that.
And just barreling forward. ZETA even tried. They tried to route them from the other side. You know, several times they pushed out a C site. Just couldn't find it.
God. Yo, Device only died a second time in that whole first half.
Yeah, hasn't really needed to. Still has a lot of kills to his name, as you pointed out earlier. 15 and 2 now. Well over a 7.0 KD. Just an insane stat line here from everybody on PRX.
Okay.
They now start on the defense.
Something. Just trying to watch around bound. I'm sure those footsteps may have somewhat been heard. ZETA rotating over onto the A side instead. Toxic screens up and 3-stack just watching the off angles.
Waiting for the push in. It is the pistol, so not going to greed for the long range fights. They know that they have to come in. 2 pistols already heard on the A side. Zeta's still going to commit to it. They've all come into tree, but they've been hit with the stuns. They've been hit.
Yeah.
Still holds strong with the Sheriff. 2 kills to his name. Now a 3v2 on this execute. Spike still not on the site. Huron needed to find that kill, but Forsaken's good for the headshot. A tap onto the Spike. Forsaken not fighting just yet. Last, nice swing around.
Good little reposition, but last quicker as well. Now with this 2-on-1, something with a little bit lower on the HP.
Yeah.
Able to survive the shots from last headshot as well. Good job from Zeta Division. Huron actually saving that round for them, despite the utility and the crowd control from Forsaken and Jing.
I mean, this was a lot. They were completely bottlenecked, but yeah.
Gila, Huron.
Actually dragged down onto the Neon. I thought it was just right at head level, but it's a good reaction as well.
All right, well, here we go. It's 11-2.
I mean, for Zeta, again, just getting whatever you can here, making sure that you gain this experience on how to bounce back, how to keep yourself in the game. It's important. The Haunt comes out
For PRX
shot.
They're just pushing out. They don't care.
Finds that nasty shot right around the box, but Laz answers
Gila,
back
langsung
with
dua.
a 2.
Wah.
He's ready. Quick reactions
Tiga.
on the leader of
Oke.
Zeta Division. As we do see a attempted pinch from Deb. Oh, okay.
He's got his nightfall.
Yeah, a little revenge to something shot earlier in the first half. Just as he swivels back. And
One more for the ace.
now you know it was everybody. He
Es
gets it.
gelo.
The crowd goes wild trying to keep Zeta Division in the game.
Certainly can't mantle boom after a round like that. I know the rounds, the scoreline looks a little bit, different, but still fun multi-kill moment.
Yeah, you gotta just move on forward. I mean, Laz, calm and collected. You can see a little
Gila lah sih emang.
small relief
Nice.
there on his face. Yeah, the small smiles coming out.
Nice.
Nightfall now, still at the ready. Jing gets tagged by the Haunt, and that's the Nightfall immediately to clear him back out. He does have the sprint, so he should be able to get out. You can't quite chase him through.
Very quickly. PRX testing some setups of their own, though. Interesting fragment allowing Jing to sneak up the sides, but here we go. Zeta Division gaining a little bit of control, looking to potentially take down A or maybe even Tree.
Huron's starting to dig into pillars as well. You still have a minute on the clock, so ideally Zeta Division, you could afford to try to test your luck at B, see if it's worth a rotate. But Huron's going to want to wait to see if there's a flank coming in from PRX first. Again, no Sentinel on PRX. You imagine that tradition would tell you that they want to push out for map control. Continue to test for Tree.
Oh, okay, a couple of spams. Unfortunately, Huron too low. He goes down. With that, though, it's going to be the call from Zeta to rotate, transition over into the B site. Huron joins them now. Along with the Nanostorms, they set up for post plants.
Yeah, Nanoswarm up on Heaven as well just to buy a bit of extra time. You still hold on to Baby Door, but it's going to be the wraparound here onto the revolving door. No flash drives here. It's just straight up a double swing, a double peek. Huron not going to find the first kill, but he just needs to stay alive. He just needs to draw time. Something's still trying to get ahead. Dep good for one. Something breaks through on main. Laz needs to get the kill. He swivels back. He finds
Gila, Laz.
and now it's all down to Forsaken at 32 HP. And he's not going to have the time. He's going to hold them at bay with the 0 point, and he will back out for the save.
Laz! That's the IGL that we were looking for. Zeta Division, he's coming back into true form and still being able to spin around 180. With verticality to boot as well. I mean, you got to watch that replay.
Gila, PRX
How he
nggak
steals
dikasih
those
satu
vandal
angka pun,
shots.
Jing.
Must be close to another Nightfall now.
Yeah, it should
This is
be clean.
not a simple 180-degree flip.
Time out, time
No,
out.
I mean, it's just very, very good awareness. And also just backing out to make sure he doesn't have to flick up and completely ruin his wrist on that one. Lower that angle just a bit. Now the Odin comes out for Huron as well.
Okay.
Never over till it's over.
PRX scrounging up a little bit of a half by. Hero Phantom on Forsaken.
See if he can do any damage. Still a couple points away from that null command. It's the overdrive. He finds Huron at long range, but can't quite continue the headshots. A bit too far, the damage drop off. Just enough to keep it alive, but he still wraps right back around, and now it's all 4 members pushing out. It's just a headbutt from PRX, and they will pay for it mostly.
Yeah, ZETA answers right back in kind. Managing to bob and weave some of those punches, but then hitting back with some heavy hitting weapons of their own. It's down to Divide with 33 HP. He's gonna have to figure out which side they're about to hit. Playing up around C, he goes out mound, doesn't spot anything. Meanwhile, ZETA Division having the discipline to work together as a duo. Of course, it is Huron and Huron. Trying to find the best possible spot and timing for a spike plant.
They should be going all the way around. Yeah, you still have so much time. You don't want to try to go for the plant and make it an accidental 1v1, especially not when Huron is only 2 HP. But like you said, Devi still on the move himself. Well past mound. The alarm bot was recalled. That allows Devi to go all the way, thinking it might be somewhere on B, maybe over on A. But alas, it will be the C site, and Devi thinks it might be A. No, he's just gonna slow down and realize soon enough that this is not it.
Yeah, this is difficult. There's no telling. You can't fault Devi for any of this, and at the same time,
he's laughing.
It's gonna be so tough.
I mean, listen, he was right in the middle of the map, right? He was right in the spawn.
Yeah.
Leaning more towards the A side. I think he thought he might have just been outside.
Time out, langsung.
At this point, you have to save.
It is what it is. Like, really nothing much you can do. You save up, you buy for your teammates or something. Even if you wanted to go for the retake, even with Huron being down to 2 HP, they've got so much utility. They got the Poison Cloud set up on the spike. They got Huron's Nanoswarms. No, don't go for this retake.
Well, just going to let it go off. If it was A site, would have liked to see if he could have gotten a 1v1. But at the end of the day, it will just be the save, given the time it would take to wrap all the way around. Now, we'll see buy-ups coming in after this eco round. I mean, it got messy, but ZETA, they answer back. They hold strong, and they all are able to make sure that they focus fire back.
The buy matters. You've got something with an operator now, and an Odin for ZETA Division.
That operator, see if he can be the key, because if you drop that, it's a big investment. Still don't have the Blade Storm just online yet. So it may just turn into another eco round in the next one. Devi, the only one above 1,000 creds. 2 other members could go for half armor buys even if they lose here. But for now, PRX looking to win.
Oh, gila.
Goes for the blind shot through the wall. Something just trying to pressure them away. But I like that blind fire from Something. Trying to just pressure them into C, but Jin gets taken out on the side out. No backup. Cut off from the smokes.
They thought that was enough utility to clear them all, but Sugar Zero was just right around the other edge of it and didn't get connected. So off of it, now back to a 5-on-4. ZETA Division regrouping, reconsidering, and Something's just hoping somebody walks into his crosshairs right now.
You have double Prowler. You sure
Wah, nggak kena.
it. Oh my gosh, Shuran. Tempting fate against Something. And he will survive. Only 8 lives left for him. But everybody else rotates back. They realize the op too far forward. Still using the toxic screen, trying to just mask information away from Something, pull them away further from that C site. PRX is still holding strong though. ZETA Division, they're not quite sure if this would have all worked yet or not. But they're still just buying time because that would be the key. There's the Prowler now going in, close is clear. Mind Freak Jumps into a smoke. Are they wary of it? No, they're not. They jump right into Mindfreak's home. Forsaken there for the trade. Laz will take out the Omen. But Divide not backing out alongside Forsaken. Divide good for yet another kill. 17 and 5. He finally gets shut down.
Whoa.
Goes for another multi-kill. Enough time for the plant. Uran for the cover. And just an operator in the hands of something. Goes for the shot. Gets tagged. No audio. Full focus.
Gagal kabur nabrak tembok.
And ZETA climb up to 6.
Tried to escape it, but even then he was down to 1 bullet left in that magazine. That's it though. Mindfreak definitely did what he could to save that round for his team. Anchoring down the C site. Welcome to the
Waduh, parah, nggak ada yang selamatin. Kacau.
Laz just coming back up on top of it.
Laz has been incredible the past couple rounds here for ZETA Division. Nice and calm from Sugar Zero. Just tracking down on the sliding Neon, but Laz just walks through, challenges each member of PRX. Now another half buy for PRX. Vandal and Bucky, the rest on Sheriffs. You have the Blade Storm though.
Bomb buddy out.
Pops it up. Meanwhile, ZETA Division being able to go all the way through into the C site. PRX nowhere to be found. They're rotating over now. Mindfreak updrafts, tries to land a blade, but can't quite. Not onto Hiroran.
Yeah, I just got out of his vision a bit too quickly. Something. And there's the showstopper to try to push them away. There is going to be that null command coming through as Forsaken finds this as an opportunity to try to shut them down. It's a big ultimate invested. The paranoia is good for only one person. Sugar Zero still has his vision, but he doesn't have the shot. As Huron, good for it. 1v2, he isolates it, finds the last target. Can he get another clutch? He does on the triple kill. The rookie finally seeing the light here in their last match of VCT Pacific.
Gelo.
Just being able to find that stability. Even with his teammates kind of falling all around him, he holds it down up around the stairs side of the C site. Expects the push out from Divide.
Hiroran, wih, gelo.
He's holding far back. And a nice little chuckle to celebrate. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, let it all out. Just that pressure off your shoulders now. Play to your own strengths. Now back on that killjoy. And once again, contention for Rubble. PRX limiting some utility, but not too much. Just a season of fragment.
ZETA are trying to read PRX's tendencies. They have been pushing out for almost every single past round now. So the first few seconds invested into holding.
Now you know that there was a push out in Mound as well, as it probably gets taken out right around it. So ZETA, they will have to use the second Prowler just to clear. Confirming that back off. Uran still playing with that toxic screen. Can he find the shot onto Jing?
It's always resources being spent, but also Uran just trying to keep some of the attention away from his teammates. The scouting mission, however, not being able to retrieve all too much. The Prowlers are already spent.
Bring them down.
So ZETA's gonna have to make a decision pretty soon. Which side do you want to hit? They figured out that, alright, Jing is definitely around A.
Oh, that's great from the shadows from Mindfreak, though. Knows that it was just a fake over by Rubble, so he can try to stick onto her, but he has been seized. And that means Dep's going all the way around. Hiranga for one, but Mindfreak and Forsaken still good for it. Dep just can't find the clear shot. He wanted to get more than one, but now he's been exposed to bounce out with the last pack. Not going to land on his feet. And that shuts down the approach. PRX finally on the doorsteps of map point. 3 members grouped together, 5 seconds on the clock. Surely not. Okay, well, Jing has exited the site.
Yeah.
Absolutely secures it. And PRX will get their 12th on the board.
Just swinging out
Wait.
on top. Great play from Mindfreak. I mean, it's a really minuscule one, but the impact of it is huge. From the shadows over, and it's just, canceling it gives a tell to ZETA Division. They thought that it was clear enough for them to push in. And even then, with Forsaken landing some of these shots, as Dep tried to fight back.
What? A little bit of a shout there, just to rally up the troops. PRX trying to close things out, trying to take us to sunset, get yet another match victory on the board.
Wah.
Nasty shot on Jing, quick on the flick. But he does get flashed. He was trapped in tree all alone, no backup. During all of this, PRX has already cleared out C-Mount entirely. So if they can just hold on, maybe not even just holding on, never mind. Laz answers right back. I thought Devi might be able to hold on to the site. But it's Laz who shuts him down. Huron down to 7 HP. Deja vu here between this duo of Laz and Huron. See what they can do. As they will get into the site safely with the lockdown. No information on Mindfreak and something.
No idea. They're just going to have to make a good guess or a good read as to where they might approach from. Huron all the way up. Looking for that check into defender spawn. If he doesn't spot anyone there, that could be a tell, but oh my goodness, just a tiny little needle, and it's been threaded in towards Laz. Down to the one-on-one. Huron, 7 HP, but a single bullet from the Vandal can make all the difference in the world. Great smoke from Mindfreak, though. Blocks off a potential side of entry. He's running out of time.
Huron knows now it's not being stuck. No time. Mindfreak, he only has one more shot. Now out of time. The round surely has escaped away from him. Huron counts down. And he knows that there is no time. As Mindfreak will go down to the spike. Yet another clutch for the rookie. That Red Bull clutch coming in. Back to back to back for Huron several times here on this map. An 8th on the board for ZETA Division.
The two heroes for ZETA Division, Laz and Huron. Just being smart enough to play around, you know, the advantages that
Jing,
they
pakai itu
have.
Jing. Aduh, jangan pakai itu.
Remember, we started off this half 11 to 1. Now it's 8 to 12.
Apalagi bos jatah.
I
Gara-gara
wanted
udah
to
lama
see a couple
anjing,
rounds for
anjing.
ZETA to get their head back in the game, but right now they're gunning for match. I mean, they want to take this to overtime. They want to try to make it a 2-0 against PRX.
And it's very, very possible, especially if they can keep their mantle game up. Devi available with a Nightfall, though. Certainly looking to defend the A site. ZETA just having that presence all around. Ooh, good little swing out. Manages to catch Depp.
I mean, even when they're losing rounds, Devi still good for some nasty shots at range. Surely the backbone of PRX this year, as they are currently sitting on a mixed buy, just try to even out their econ. See Forsaken on Classic, Mindfreak on the Sheriff as well. There's the paranoia to push out. Devi capitalizes on it. He's trying to chase through. He knows there was one more. He finds it.
Ya, kalah dah ente.
Coverage is not quite there. He's looking for the last one. Huron, not much of a choice. Otherwise, it's going to be the last round no matter what. He has to go for the challenge. Can he win it? Devi and Jing doubled up, and Devi will
Yoi, las ya.
Lotus and take us to a third map on Sunset.
We had a couple of aces on this map, but what a way to close it out. An ace of all things. And it happens because he had the sensibility. Jing was kind of, you know, jiggling back and forth. He pushes out. Through the doors too. Devi, definitely the MVP on the map of Lotus. Such an incredible performance. The least deaths, I think. I'm going to toss it over to our desk to break down all of this Lotus action.
Woo, a lot of action here, and PRX is giving you the full PRX.
Udah gua ambil makanan dulu.
너 그래 너 요새 너 조금 이상해졌어 자꾸만 시도 때도 없이 시무룩하고 고민이 생겼니 초등학교 영어 수업 시간에 배웠었던 현재 진행형 같아 하루에 10번 내 맘이 움직여 이상하고 아름다운 느낌이 좋아 걱정되고 플러스 ing LOV를 붙여보면 사랑인 것 같고 Say goodbye를 붙여보면 헤어질 것 같아서 ing just ing 내 맘은 아직 ing 좋아한다고 보고 싶다고 그 말을 왜 못하니 후회할까봐 아파할까봐 망설이는 걸 너의 현재 진행형 사실은 나도 뭐가 뭔지 잘 모르겠어 어쩌다 우리 여기까지 알 수 없는 비동사 플러스 ing LOV를 붙여보면 사랑인 것 같고 Say goodbye를 붙여보면 헤어질 것 같아서 ing just ing 내 맘은 아직 ing 너 그래 너 요새 너 조금 이상해졌어 자꾸만 시도 때도 없이 시무룩하고 고민이 생겼니 초등학교 영어 수업 시간에 배웠었던 현재 진행형 같아 하루에 10번 내 맘이 움직여 이상하고 아름다운 느낌이 좋아 걱정되고 보고 싶은 이런 기분은 현재 진행형 사실은 나도 뭐가 뭔지 잘 모르겠어 어쩌다 우리 여기까지 알 수 없는 비동사 플러스 ing LOV를 붙여보면 사랑인 것 같고 Say goodbye를 붙여보면 헤어질 것 같아서 ing just ing 내 맘은 아직 ing 좋아한다고 보고 싶다고 그 말을 왜 못하니 후회할까봐 아파할까봐 망설이는 걸 너의 현재 진행형 사실은 나도 뭐가 뭔지 잘 모르겠어 어쩌다 우리 여기까지 알 수 없는 비동사 플러스 ing LOV를 붙여보면 사랑인 것 같고 Say goodbye를 붙여보면 헤어질 것 같아서 ing just ing 내 맘은 아직 ing
Halo, Len. Itu yang baru namanya siapa? Yang baru namanya siapa? Halo, Nelly. Terus kamu liburnya mau Rabu apa Kamis?
너 그래 너 요새 너 조금 이상해졌어 자꾸만 시도 때도 없이 없이 시무룩하고 고민이 생겼니 초등학교 영어 수업 시간에 배웠었던 현재 진행형 같아 하루에 10번 내 맘이 움직여 이상하고 아름다운 느낌이 좋아 걱정되고 보고 싶은 이런 기분은 현재 진행형 사실은 나도 뭐가 뭔지 잘 모르겠어 어쩌다 우리 여기까지 알 수 없는 비동사 플러스 ing LOV를 붙여보면 사랑인 것 같고 say goodbye를 붙여보면 헤어질 것 같아서 ing just ing 내 맘은 아직 ing 좋아한다고 보고 싶다고 그 말을 왜 못하니 후회할까봐 아파할까봐 망설이는 걸 너의 현재 진행형 사실은 나도 뭐가 뭔지 잘 모르겠어 어쩌다 우리 여기까지 알 수 없는 비동사 플러스 ing LOV를 붙여보면 사랑인 것 같고 say goodbye를 붙여보면 헤어질 것 같아서 ing just ing 내 맘은 아직 ing 너 그래 너 요새 너 조금 이상해졌어 자꾸만 시도 때도 없이 시무룩하고 고민이 생겼니 초등학교 영어 수업 시간에 배웠었던 현재 진행형 같아 하루에 10번 내 맘이 움직여 이상하고 아름다운 느낌이 좋아 걱정되고 보고 싶은 이런 기분은 현재 진행형 사실은 나도 뭐가 뭔지 잘 모르겠어 어쩌다 우리 여기까지 알 수 없는 비동사 플러스
Hold in mid if he needs to go for the wraparound. He's going to begin over on top mid. Now Mark gets smoked off. Uran hiding in the site. Gets one, gets two, almost three. Jing down to 40 HP. Laz is here, but they have to peek the spike. Sugar Zero realizes they're not on it.
Wah,
It's gonna be one
Roto.
apiece for Huron and Sugar Zero.
Shots unfortunately not quite landing for PRX, but that's it. ZETA division. I mean, what a way to take down the round, pushing all the way up through mid and then back into Boba. And from there, they took down the site. PRX managed to hold them down for the time being, but then once the spike went down, the retakes unfortunately not quite going through because Huron was able to find a couple of double kills.
Yeah, Huron holding on
Wih,
there.
bener tuh
Now
tadi
with
pas
the
gue lagi
Guardian
AFK.
in his hand. 4 rifles bought up from ZETA division. They carry over the Sheriff as well. Busy used nice and early. The Cypher setup used a bit later in mid just to check. PRX is going for anything cheeky.
Right there.
PRX goes for the ping, hearing perhaps the spy cam being installed right at the beginning.
For now, the main hit headed out from B main. Forsaken
Whoa.
a couple of shots, but it's not going through. Wingman will be able to stick that plant. Meanwhile, the rest of Zeta Division just
Whoa, Roto.
pretty much watching down this entire gallery. A couple of shots going through. PRX finding at least one kill onto last, but that's about it.
Yeah, if they can just take away a couple of the rifles, it's not too bad considering it is a 4-man buy. We'll see if they can make it happen. The spike's already there. Something trying to bait it out. Now, especially with the sheriffs in their hands, they have to make something work. But finding no value. Only one kill.
Elok, Scar Zero menyala di sini.
Zeta on a good start. Sugar Zero with a triple kill to give the 2-0 lead.
What a way to take things down. Just quick and decisive Zeta Division. I mean, that has been the theme of the day. I'm not sure if people might remember this, but we had that interview with Coach Carlisle just all the way back in the start of Stage 2, and he mentioned he wanted to give Zeta more flexibility, have the potential to go in for decisive, quick plays, but also to kind of slow things down when they need to. And right now, they're definitely demonstrating that.
And now they're going to fight for A main control. They've been going B 2 rounds in a row. Now on the bonus, Sugar Zero not going to be able to swivel
something
in
mati,
time,
anjir.
but Depp will just enter right into the site. Forsaken now trapped. Devi is tasked with trying to be the backup, but it's too late. He had to peek through the smoke. It takes too much time. Forsaken now gone from elbow. Spike planted, and Depp is still wrapping around. Jing, he has an inkling about it. They've lost track of him, and now Jing will try to chase through. He gets ahead of the Boombot, gets the kill onto Depp. Now Devi on the site. He's broken apart Zeta's post-plant positioning. And Keychron not able to get the kill on the trapwire either. Mindfreak just completely goes through the trip. The wall's there, and that's the defuse.
Oh my gosh. What a way to come in with a retake. PRX just on the site, having the 3 players find their individual
Akhirnya
flags.
cuy.
And at the same time, Mindfreak getting the duel up against Keychron. Laz, unfortunately, not quite able to find it. And that is, once again, that value of the Sage Wall on the defuse. It just blocks off quite a bit.
Yeah, it just buys enough time with
Bah,
still being there
duduk.
as well, of course. Mindfreak not shaken by that tripwire as well. He knew his mission was just to check for someone watching the flank. No, it was a costly buy round, but a round win nonetheless. They will be able to buy a couple Guardians back up to match firepower. But Thrash online for Laz. He wants to get as much distance on it as possible. But uh-oh, there is the aftershock. Is anyone going to warn him about it? No, it's too late. No one's watching out for him. And Laz falls through. Sure, the Thrash gains some ground. But that's a man down. You won't be able to get that second charge on the Thrash either.
Not to mention that Sugar Zero is down to red HP. They try to send some suppressive fire shots through just to prevent PRX from checking even further. But here comes Jing with a bit of a flank. Keychron is repositioned, but still a crit hits up duel. That's another player down. It's going to be down to the fault line though. And
Gila.
push through. Sugar Zero. Here comes something. PRX will be able to pick up.
There was a bit of confusion on the side of Zeta Division here in the post plant. Just not quite sure if they wanted to take the vice or not. Sure, maybe you spot the util a bit late. Maybe the comms got a little bit messy. I'm not sure what it was. But of course, the flank getting taken down, that's one thing. Because now you're pressed for time. But even after the stun, not quite sure where they want to be watching, scared of potential flashes as well. And after too much consideration, Zeta will now be pushed back to an eco, as we do see Rolling Thunder on the other side for PRX.
Yeah, great little aftershock from Forsaken. I mean, it's a little bit odd, but that's it. It's going to be PRX now building up their bank. It was a great start from Zeta, but here they go, back onto the eco. Swapping up to a bit of mid-control. Something's just right around the corner of that smoke, though. Maybe looking for a bit of a peek. He does have his utilities available.
Yeah, just doesn't want to give up that top mid control just because of the smoke. So stands in the smoke to deny it. If you want to take the courtyard, that's fine. As long as you don't get a free flank wrap around. Smoke refreshes, something gonna hold close once again to deny that. Meanwhile, Market being washed by Devi, but it's a lot. Nice bait and switch from Zeta Division. And PRX, they will respond in kind by taking full B main control. They've already pushed out on it. ZETA, unbeknownst to themselves, are now trapped inside market, heading into B site.
That would be a bit of sandwich. Depth, though, heads up duel on towards Jing. Something managing to find one from behind as well. So it's a bit of an even trade. We're back to a 3-on-3. Rolling Thunder from Forsaken, though, sent down, and it does connect. Sugar Zero quite banged up, and they're on those Sheriffs. They will be able to find that shot of the Forsaken, though. Mosh Pit will be able to buy a bit of time, and the spike is dropped down. So,
but they have the ultimate from the shadows available. Sure, you won't get the weapon pickups, but they will just use it to recover the spike instantly. And last, still watching for the rotate. Now grouping up onto the A site. PRX actually going to break apart and take 1v1s. I think Last might have heard a couple of those footsteps. Mindfreak, I'm not sure if he's going to be ready for it. It's an up angle, and Last finds the kill. PRX, a big blunder. It is something. He's good for these clutches, but he needs to find the 1v1 first.
My buddy's defusing.
The wingman sent out. Not quite taken out just yet. There's the trade, though, from
Wah, hampir cu, hampir cu.
And a bit of a greedy attempt at the retake from PRX. They get punished for it.
oh my goodness, splitting up, unfortunately, was not the right decision in that moment. A great call from ZETA Division as they tried to execute onto the A side. They had those showstopper plays and everything, denied against PRX. And then from the shadows, just sticking together, Sugar Zero. I wasn't sure if he was aiming for the wingman at that time, but being able to stay tucked behind cover just buys enough time for Les to sneak up around.
Yeah, I think more than anything, just focus on trying to stay alive at that point, which you love to see. Not getting too pressured given the circumstances. Now door closed. PRX choosing to slow things down, trying to play things a bit safer. Close the door, they have the one-way to take control of B main. And once again, it's a bit of a shift towards the A side.
Mindfreak sneaked up though. You got to vie with an operator as well, watching down courtyard, but most important thing is that they have to stay alive. Meanwhile, the rest of them, Mindfreak does not spot out too many players. It's going to be a bit of that A presence. This should tell Jing and the rest of PRX that something's about to happen. The shot instantly tracked up to the top. Paint Shell's underhand tossed as well, just to buy a bit more space. Forsaken able to receive. It's going to be the trade from Sugar Zero.
Yeah, but Huron still on the lurk. He hadn't quite backed off just yet. So they get the pings. It's two people on A. The smoke to cut off the rotate. Mindfreak's trying to get ahead of it. He wants to find at least one target. The paranoia should land. He's just going to reposition with the shrouded step. Can he find the kill onto Huron? He does! Holding on to backside, smokes it off just to buy time for his teammates to arrive.
Bit of a heal as well.
Swing out.
Wah, tinggal solo.
Sugar Zero gets one. 20 seconds. He would desperately like to find a 1v1, but PRX, oh, they're gonna give it to him! Trying to exit out of the site.
Wah, gelo.
You mentioned it before, William. I mean, Devi is the backbone, and he keeps things steady. With the operator, he doesn't have to, he can't quite push out, so just marks the angle instead. And as soon as he sees something, bang,
Let's
there
go.
he goes. That's it, though. Sugar Zero being able to land that shot into
Hampir to dep, anjir.
impressive. But also just great plays from the
Dar, wah gila. Dingin.
double peek out of the smoke, managed to keep themselves alive a little bit more. ZETA Division keeping themselves in this fight.
And now just down to two Vandals, though, as they do have to
Wah, Roron mati.
The op is ringing true, pushes far out of B main. They've been very aggressive on the B side. And now after that kill, taking full A main control as well. There's the anti on the flash.
Wah, something mati.
But I don't think he spotted Forsaken just yet.
So Forsaken might have an opportunity to sneak through. But the rest of PRX also has to buy enough time to defend and hold. Walls up, top of mid. You also have B main to worry about. Mindfreak backs up.
Now Forsaken doesn't have the fault line just yet to provide support, but he is going to be wrapping around. Not sure if Dep will have any inkling to this. He's actually going to, Dep's going to get over the sage wall. Did Devi hear this? I don't think he did. He's somewhat wary of it, but misses the timing. Dep looking for it. I mean, that is the glue for PRX.
Anjir.
Last gets a kill, but the spike stranded. No ultimate on the Omen just yet.
So he's gonna have to manually sneak in to retrieve the spike. Shredded steps in, and Mindfreak is very, very aware. Jiggles out though, and it's gonna be Sugar Zero who spots out Mindfreak instead. Good little tap, but it's gonna be Sugar Zero with the kill. Now the From the Shadows available. Rotations all the way over out to the A site, but you are right. Seals the round of 5.
Kocak, kocak.
I love that PRX is ahead of this. I mean, they see that it's 1 point away, and they say, okay, well, if
Mati lagi Laz.
Jing does clean up the kill onto Laz as well.
Elo.
And Device ready for it. Quick rotate, or at least a standby for it. Takes off for PRX.
Incredible stuff. Once he's on this operator stage, repeatedly, consistently works out because of how he knows where to position himself, working alongside his team.
I mean, that's where they thrive, right? This is something we saw with RQ as well. RQ might have had more rounds where they had good reads, but the moment you start to just chain duel after duel, that's where PRX thrives. That's where the individual mechanics will take the advantage. So Zeta Division, if they can just take a step back from that, reset if they need to in the round, play the time a bit further, hopefully they'll be able to claw back into it. They took a 13-10 loss to RQ, but RQ lost to PRX. See if Zeta can complete the circle of sunset here and try to take down PRX themselves.
Be cool if they went full circle, especially after taking down PRX on Ascent today. Almost a comeback on Lotus. Now onto the last map. Before the previous round ended, Last picked up an Alt Orb, so he has the Thrash available. But this time, PRX slows things down almost to a halt. No information found from Zeta. Bit of a dizzy. That's gonna tell them that something is right around the corner.
But that dizzy now stranded, can't be picked back up. Fault line just used, down for another 30 to 40 seconds. So Thrash gets used. Zeta wants to take this opportunity to gain some space to see if they can go to an execute. Thrash sent all the way far though. Not recoverable in its current state, and something wants to punish it.
Stason's tucked into this corner as well. He's got quite a bit of utility, but not quite wanting to send it through. The Aftershock just buys a bit of time and space for him, but once he hears these footsteps, it's going to be the double kill. 2 quick taps, and now the Thrash. Euron unfortunately stuck cold and alone. The rest of the team on the site. Something still looking for those hits, but Sugar Zero, a quick double. Mindfreak for the trade. Sugar Zero still alive, but 10 seconds left. He has to pick up the spike.
Bisa lah.
Crossing divide will spot him with that sniper Overwatch.
The aftershock from Forsaken really sells the fact that something might not be there in elbow. I mean, Depp was still clearing for it, but not the entire team. They were still too concerned. This was really just formalities from Depp. And then something's just so quick on the trigger that there's no reaction from his teammates. Laz gets taken down immediately as well. So a good reaction to that timeout. PRX slowing things down, forcing Zeta to just run down the clock and then rush in. See what the adjustment is now. Op still in the hands of Divide. Resurrection still available as well. Hasn't really needed to use it. So we do see Zeta Division answering back against the aggression on B main. It's an instant execute onto the site. Depth's in. The support not quite there yet though. He is trapped just a tad mid. Spike stranded as well. Out of ammo is Depp, and he's still too many targets for him to choose from.
Oh no.
But Huron stabilizes his kill. Huron trying to find another, but he gets surrounded close by. At the very least, Spike recovered for Zeta Division.
Okay. Still though, what a wrench into Zeta's plans. They really tried to opt for that quick rush, but instantly halted by Divine and that slow orb. Might not have landed the op shots, but the impact felt. Zeta now trying to rotate over. And then there comes the res.
Might as well. You've had it for a little bit, and you could get another one in the half if you land more op shots like you have been. Might as well secure this round for sure. And allow something to maybe even get a couple extra ult orbs himself, or ult points rather. PRX spreads back out on a safe 2-1-2 with that res. Huron will dig deep a little bit, but the double take, it costs him. Now, it's just gonna be Zeta facing their enemies one by one. The spike's been sent out. Forsaken, just gonna allow the spike to go down. Doesn't want to take any risk, wants to wait until backup arrives.
Certainly marking down for it too. Fault line now sends out last, fully connected, fully stunned. Sugar Zero on the other side, he hears all of those footsteps as Stampede headed out towards him. Mindfreak quickly peeking out, and that's going to be PRX doubling their score up on Zeta.
And Rolling Thunder completed for Forsaken as well. So 6-3 lead, and looking more and more stable on the side of PRX. Zeta Division still hasn't picked up a round since that timeout. This will be the third one. See if they can course correct here. But yeah, the slow orb's been so good. And this is the thing with the Sage, is once the Sage is mobile enough and wary of the attack, it doesn't have to be a hard sentinel, but they will have a ton of delay to flood the sites. I mean, they've been doing this since the offseason, back when we saw it all the way at the AVL. And it's still a menace if they can just stay one step ahead of you. Zeta needs to do a little bit more to control PRX's movement around the map. Def trying to go in fast. That's the answer for now. Def consistently too many steps far ahead of his team. Mindfreak now just in the shooting gallery. Sugar Zero and Uran separated here on the site.
And trying to find their own precise shots, but look at this. PRX, after getting their kills, tucked away behind the generator. Forsaken swings out. It's going to be Sugar Zero finding the trade. Something up from behind. It's not something that Sugar Zero expects. So once again, PRX up on top. I mean, you mentioned it. Depp was trying to go so many steps ahead, but his team not quite up there with him.
It's an answer. It's a way. It's an option for sure to try to just blast through it, get a little bit more damage, try to get ahead of PRX. Sure, but it has to be a team effort. And if the utility is going to get slowed down, and PRX seemingly always has at least one extra member prepared, you got to bait out the util first. You got to maybe push and pull across the map, something more to force PRX out of position right now. PRX just going for it. Jing, this is where he had that ace, and he's good for two, but he does get shut down from depth.
Now back into it. It's going to be the Boombot Defy, spotted out by Hiroran at the bottom of mid. The rest of PRX trying to stabilize. They shut down the door. Mindfreak marking the spike though. Neural Theft spent, and it's going to be Forsaken the Rolling Thunder just to give Mindfreak a bit more cover. Sugar Zero just being able to recover as well.
From the shadows available once again.
Okay.
Sugar Zero, surely he doesn't need to use it just yet. You do want to group up, but the problem is it's Huron. He's across the road from all the weapons dropped. Forsaken, they spot each other.
Duh, Huron dia diem doang.
As we see PRX trying to re-clear mid, re-clear Tylus. No, Zeta, they're going to fight this. They're going to try to fight this. They know that PRX will want to clear it. It's a good read.
The weaponry as well. Even with Sugar Zero down pretty low. Still thinking about...
Heard the weapon swap.
Footsteps. All right, there it is.
You know that they're there.
Wah, mantap.
Then it's going to be one member swinging first after he hears the weapon swap.
I was wondering if they were thinking about using the ult to go, play some mind games, but no. Something's just that steady and waits for them to peek out instead.
Yeah, PRX, they're constantly one step ahead, even in those situations. And this is always so fast. I mean, the paranoia was so good as well.
Both teams having some set plays of their own. I really admire that Zeta, or at least Step, tried to make something happen from the previous round, but this time, PRX just really pushing them all the way in. Barrier orb outside of B main as well. Showstopper on towards the back. What are you going to do if you're ZETA?
You do have a lot of time. Maybe a little bit of a re-clear across the map could help. You do have the showstopper, but Deb, he's stranded right now behind the box over on B main. Should also be noted that similar to their last game against RQ, oh, hold on, showstopper used by Deb, just trying to keep them tied up here. He finds the kill right around the wall, and he's able to still survive, picks up a Phantom, but there's the operator. Again, no support. I mean, ZETA Division, where's the movement? Sure, you're sending Hero on to clear out A,
Wah,
but Spike's still so far away.
Yeah, it's taking too much time. Unless Huron is able to sneak in deep
Dimajuin malah yang lain masih
cut
belakang.
off some rotations sneakily, it's not quite gonna happen just yet. That said, though, PRX is doing their due diligence and checking a lot of these corners as well. The From the Shadows spent onto the site and then canceled. Oh, PRX is already here. Not sure if ZETA is gonna anticipate this. Early shot from something, and that's Huron gone. Sugar Zero now, trying to make use of the smoke. Peeks out, but can't quite find anything.
Yeah, the thrash stops him on elbow as well. Only 20 seconds on the clock. This one way is not going to disappear in time. Sugar Zero, you need to make something happen. And he goes for the Hail Mary shrouded step. Double kill to open up the site. Spike's still not there just yet, but Moshpit will buy time. The wingman sent out. The spike will get planted. And now a 1v2. Divide with the operator, but the thrash is coming. Can he hide away from it? It goes past him. They have no idea. But
Ya, kelihatan tapi yang tidak.
too long. And boy, oh boy.
Wah. Mulai.
Still, though, being able to get the spike down out in the open, they might be able to play around from B main. ZETA taking their time to check, just in case anybody might be flanking over. Divide even tries to slow them even further down with that slow orb, and ZETA's being very, very cautious now.
Yeah,
another slow orb.
Oh, the pacing of that is perfect, because here's the thing, ZETA had already somewhat cleared market with that cam, so they were feeling pretty confident about this pinch, and now it's just a spray down. The wingman goes out as well. Dep is holding close. He has an opportunity, but he gets taken down by something. Huron now already on the spike, but they can barely see it right around the fiber cage. They know exactly where the defuser has to be, and they all fall like flies. The wingman sent out, but Forsaken gets the kill.
And everybody dies except for something. I mean, what a way to play around. And really, although it wasn't a lot of flashy kills, the MVP of that one has to be Divine with a slow orb.
Oh, yeah.
Anjing.
Line too.
Definitely. I mean, again, the slow orbs provide so much value. You think back to the old days when Sage was still pretty meta on a couple maps. You know, think back to the old splits, things like that. If you knew exactly the timer to use your slow orbs, that's simply how you won certain rounds, certain maps. And we're seeing that value once again here on Sunset.
Yeah, at that point, ZETA had no choice but to just go in for the defuse, and they just threw their bodies on top of it. Now, off of that, PRX having a commanding lead, ZETA just buying up a little bit. Step on the Sheriff, Divine, trying to use the wall to go up and create a little bit of presence towards this B site, but the hit's not there.
Yeah, again, noticing that it's the eco, you hear the paint shells from afar, you imagine it's still going to be a couple members as Ching barely gets out with his life. But PRX saying, all right, if that's the stack, we don't want to deal with it. Now, the rotation is pretty fast from ZETA, but they're not going to be in the site just yet. So they will have to wait for the flood, as they don't want to go 3v5. They want to wait for the full stack.
Yeah, at least rob some guns away from PRX. Still, though, the spike will go down. And that gives PRX a little bit of time to set themselves up for those post-plant positions. You got the fault line, you've got quite a bit of utility, you've got Ching with paint shells still as well.
I mean, this is just so much utility once again to buy time. ZETA Division wants to make something happen as they bought up a Sheriff and a Ghost, but they've been pushed back with the paint shells, the Wingman, the Dizzy, now Jinx Spectre. It's just too much for ZETA Division to handle. Laz finally gets a kill, but there's still more targets that Laz will clean up somewhat, but it's only 2 taken down, 3 weapons still carried over by PRX.
Yeah, PRX just doing such a good job at controlling the map and controlling how ZETA might be able to position themselves. I mean, that Wingman that was sent out by something instantly told them there are several people outside of defender spawn, and then the paint shells from Jin comes through just to split up those forces, allows him to find some favorable fights while Forsaken comes up alongside him. I mean, just fantastic stuff now.
Siapa nih nonton? Halo.
On those ultimates again.
Sih udah pasti menang PRX lah. Something pakai ini. Apa namanya?
Trademark Gecko Scope coming out to assist.
Outlaw. Dar, ya nggak kena.
Overcompensates for that swing out, and that stops just in time.
Ente dah.
Shot onto something. It's a big shutdown. You not only take away the Outlaw, the long-range fight, but you also take away the Wingman. So now PRX are going to have to take a little bit more control of the site if they want to feel stable. Slow orb just to make sure that they don't get jumped on during the spike plant. Divine trying to draw out more utility, trying to draw them out, gives the spike over to Jing, and the wall comes up just in time. Showstopper, he does get dizzied. Checks close. When does he let it go? He lands it right on top of Huron. Last spot.
Wah, Jing.
Give it an inch, he'll take the entire site. Divine now jump peaks. Sugar Zero spotted. He has to back away. There just isn't a good way for him to try to get back into the side. The PRX is on the hunt. It's their bonus round. They'll do whatever they want to try to make sure that they have the advantage. Sugar Zero, he's getting surrounded. He knows it. He wants
to manti, let's go.
I mean, you're absolutely right. Ching took the whole site. Not only did he get space for his team with the Showstopper too, he continued to push further down indoors. Marking those angles, having the support from his team, getting that shot onto Laz. PRX just really dominating the pace of the game right now. And
they'll have to scrape together whatever they can, and they decide that this is the round where they will put everything on the line to try to claw back into it, to try to contest against the current top seed of VCT Pacific in PRX.
Wah, Dep nggak beli armor
And
tuh.
it's going to be a push out of mid as well, trying to route him. PRX, I mean, they have the read on it. They're just going to go for a rush on to B.
Oh man, Market blocked off, Kova blocked off as well. Even with the trips, it's just not going to be enough. They're trying to take down the wall at the very least, but look at how PRX are trying to keep them at bay.
Yeah, full site control taken by PRX. They understood that if it's going to be a wraparound, we need to make sure we're a bit flexible on our positioning. Now Forsaken still hanging far back, but SugarZero, he's gone even one step forward. Forsaken's wary of it, but he's still a little too concerned. The smoke, just trying to fake it out, but Forsaken starts going for the flank as well. The Thrash now catches on to something. Depp goes in for the kill. They hear Forsaken. They're Depp gets a second kill. And now only 2 members left. SugarZero finds him. They're stuck here on B main. Can ZETA go for the defuse? It's a lineup from Jing and Devi! And Devi will wrap
Gelo, cepet banget cing. Nggak sadar gua. Cing.
And then moment, he swings out, same positioning. Alongside Jing, he manages to hold down the spike just when you think ZETA might be able to turn things around. Just when ZETA finds the numbers that they needed in this retake, the post plan is always too darn good for PRX. Match point now.
Yeah, after that full send, you don't have much to work with. You've got a showstopper, but that's about it. Got a Stinger, a couple Bulldogs, and a Guardian. ZETA trying to do whatever they can. Thrash and Rolling Thunder online. PRX will take this step by step. Thrash to clear out elbow. And now positioned for the Rolling Thunder to really push them away. The paranoia used to slow them down. The showstopper to regain control of the site. PRX trying to spread out, and the positioning's good. It's only a 1-for-1 trade. They will continue the push. They know that the site has been emptied other than the Raze, thanks to the Rolling Thunder. Slow orb used, and ZETA Division. This may very well be the last round that they get to play in VCT 2024. Doing everything they can to fight back, but Devi will not have mercy as he shuts down the screams. And Heron with one single sheriff. He's had so many wonderful moments today, but there will be no fairy tale this year as PRX will shut down the match, winning 2-1.
ZETA Division, they fought tooth and nail to get this far, pushing us into a third match. Their ascent was fantastic. They looked a lot more decisive. They did not give up on Lotus, but down on towards sunset. PRX came back in true form, Devi back up on top. He had the walls, he had the operator, and he did it all when they needed him the most.
Gelo, ini dia.
They will still have the points lead above Gen G, and they will be able to secure a spot as that fourth seed. But of course, they're still gunning for the top 3, trying to make it all the way, trying to take away the VCT Pacific title once again from every other team. But they have been challenged by a couple of these teams in the last couple matches. Still things to work on if you want to perfect our run through the playoffs.
Definitely things to workshop. I mean, we saw the new compositions that they're showing now, the neon, the glow, and they're definitely still trying to cook things up. It's still going to be a long way towards play playoffs now, but meanwhile, it's going to be back to the analysts to break down all that we just witnessed.
Yes, PRX is completely undefeated this stage 2 in the regular season.
Ah,
they are
Gelo.
going to champion Seoul no matter what, and they aren't going to go through points at this rate.
It's looking like they won't. We still have to see how things are going to shake out, obviously, through the playoff bracket, where anything can happen, but they do look strong. Still some concerns to have across the series. The attempts run back there, giving quite a bit of space over to ZETA Division on Lotus, as well as dropping Ascent. So there's still things that need to be improved, because obviously you need your map pool to be as fleshed out as humanly possible. We know that they've been working on that, because Alex has been very upfront with saying behind the scenes, like, yeah, you know, we've been practicing a lot of this, been getting ready for that one, so not as much attention to certain other things, but you need every map to be in a pretty stable spot.
They straight up said they are purposely not playing split in preparation for it, so yeah. They're working on it, and it's you know, consider this is like mid workings, not bad at all.
No, definitely not. I mean, truly, there's only 2 maps where I'm really sort of concerned about PRX, and that's Ascent and Haven, just because I don't know what their Haven's going to look like, but the Ascent definitely needs some more tooling, some more work to kind of figure out how they're going to shore up that defender side in particular. Definitely doable. It's this team. They've actually been really good on the defender side this year. Believe it or not, folks at home, they've actually been better on the defender side overall. So definitely they can get it done. Just, you know, on Sunset, they're godlike. I mean, the only team that's beat them is Team Secret, right? In Pacific, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
So.
And, you know, I mean, that says a lot about Team Secret as well. Also taking down Genji just earlier today. They're going into playoffs looking really strong. But PRX continues to dominate. Our MVP, of course, is Divide. We were just talking about him before we went into that last game of just how good he is. He's just so... He's divine.
He is. What do you...
David.
He can do it all.
He goes by many names.
Yeah, he gets a lot of names. I prefer Uncle David. That's my favorite.
But Uncle is definitely
Uncle's my
the best
favorite.
one.
Yeah,
Uncle's fine, but
Okay.
nonsense. It's Divide. Let's talk about what the name is in the lobby. He chose that name. Let's put some damn respect on it, all right?
You're disrespecting FNS over here. Can't believe it. Can't believe it.
Making the champs.
But, oh my goodness! Well, anyway,
I do
it's
like
fair.
Vanessa.
I do too.
It's
I
fair.
would love for him to make it the champs.
Gue mau ngirim
Yes,
satu.
I think
Pause dulu.
Guys, tahu nggak Chen?
Enggak ya. Woi. Apa, Cok?
Tahu nggak Chen? Dia selalu gitu. Tahu nggak Chen?
Anjir.
Pergi jalan. Di mana-mana makan sate pakai nasi lah. Di mana-mana makan sate pakai lontong lah.
Kalau aku personally aku nggak terlalu suka cowok yang parfumnya gonjreng banget sih, guys.
Gua?
Kalau deket-deket sakit hidung anjir.
Gua? Parfum gua?
Lu bau kandang.
Mas Cendi
Aku
bau
lebih suka
pandan.
bau sabun gitu, guys, kayak
Welcome Al Paris.
sabun mandi. Kalau nggak bau body lotion gitu lebih enak. Kalau yang parfumnya kayak gonjreng gitu, apalagi
Bau lotion apa body lotion?
Bau penipu.
Bau body lotion enak. Kalau bau your body anjing. Ih, hey. Waduh.
Gimana?
Enggak jadi.
Gue kayak pengen beli soundboard deh, guys. Ini asik tau.
Ini jadi muncul soundboard coba. Coba nanti jadi muncul soundboard coba.
Lu punya nggak, Mei?
Ini ada tuh. Ada.
Coba pencet.
Nggak bisa, nggak kedengeran di
Wah.
Discord.
Nah, ini loh. Ini loh. Dah, sudah. Dah, kumpul berempat, guys.
Yeay.
Kamu jangan di toilet begitu, Pon. Kamu di toilet ya?
Lu lagi berak, Min.
Di meja.
Bocil.
Gila, gede banget suaranya.
Ya, di Ninja Hamdan.
Pin,
Pada
kamu
di
di mana?
Hamdan.
Woi, jangan ngupil, Pin.
Aku geli, Jir, dulu, babi.
Mana anjingmu mana?
Gambar ice skating.
Ini?
Cookie.
Gila nih.
Ternyata ada kucing di luar ya?
Kayaknya iyalah.
Bisa rantai nih, Pinpon
Mas
nggak
Cendi
mau,
aku.
guys.
Welcome Rizky.
Mau.
Salah dia.
Sandy juga udah ada circle sendiri katanya, dia nggak mau main lagi.
Sebentar ya. Pon. Mumpung ada kamu nih, Pon. Mumpung ada kamu nih, Pon. Mau nanya, Pon. Kamu udah ngajak Mintut belum?
Ngajak Mintut apa?
Ke Singapura.
Itu Messi udah chat.
Terus katanya Mintut emang nggak bisa.
Iya kan?
Kelar dah.
Kenapa?
Katanya dia nggak diajak katanya gitu.
Sih udah aja kan, Jay, orang
3
pertama.
cewek rompi dan 1 teman boti.
Apa, guys?
Mei,
diajak.
kita ngomongin Singapura, dia cuma nanya, Juli libur nggak?
Welcome Raihan.
Letih.
Nggak nanya.
Oh, bilang.
Maaf ya, panjang dan durasinya lama. Dia langsung aku ikutin.
Aku bilang
Kevin, Anindya Jati, pasti kamu juga panjang dan durasinya lama ya, guys.
Kenapa panjang dan durasinya lama?
Ngerasa aku nggak bisa kayaknya pergi waktu itu.
Oh my god, gue juga suka lagu ini lagi.
Salah Mei, guys.
Gua lagi ya, gua.
Nanya ya nggak
Gua
lengkap,
yang
Cok.
bilang.
Cuman Juli libur gak?
Aduh. Udah lah ya. Terima kasih guys sudah menonton video kali ini. Sampai jumpa di live gue berikutnya. Sekarang jam berapa sih? Mungkin jam 9:30 atau jam 10 gue main lagi. Tuh main Spyro. Sampai jumpa di video gue selanjutnya. Bye bye.